This is my complete how to start affiliate marketing course for beginners A through Z. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 AI prompts that I have handcrafted myself that you can literally copy and paste into Google Gemini. Replace this, fill out your info, and it's going to do all of the heavy lifting for you. By the end of this video, you will have a live affiliate marketing business, which hopefully consists of both a professional website and a YouTube channel. I'm going to walk you through every single step of the way with the help of AI to make it easier. And if you watch this entire video and take action, you will be further ahead than 99% of beginners who are looking to get started today. Hey guys, this is going to be a no fluff video today, and we have no time to waste. We're going to actually build something on the screen today, step by step. I'm not going to skip anything. You can follow me click for click. And like I said, I have 8 of these prompts here that I'm going to give to you. So the first step actually is to sign up. If you want me to email every single one of these prompts, this is 11 pages. Count it. 11 pages of handcrafted prompts that I've revised over and over with Google Gemini. And I'm going to give them to you for free. There's no cost at all, but all you have to do is sign up in the email to get the companion email course where you can get access to all of these copy and paste prompts so you don't miss them. Okay, that's the first step. Now, let's talk about something fun. Let's talk about earnings and proof and everything like that. And also my clients who are earning over $10,000 a month. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 3 income streams because this business is basically made up of 2 main platforms. The first one is going to be your website. Okay, so I have an example here of a website that we're going to build today. I'm going to show you how to get a super fast website with perfect performance. That's a key if you want to compete and succeed today in 2026. And then the second part is going to be a YouTube channel. Okay, so those are the 2 main platforms. The reason why is because those are the 2 biggest search engines in the world. Google SEO being number 1, and then YouTube SEO being number 2. Okay, and the reason why we want to choose those 2 as our main platforms is because those have the highest purchase intent. When someone wants to look up to research buying a product, okay, they look up a review, a comparison, or a best of post, like best air fryer for family of 4 in 2026. Okay, and what we're trying to do is create an authority in a certain niche so that we can help people make purchase decisions. Now, the 3 income streams I'm going to show you. The first one is ad revenue. This is something new that we've only added in the last couple years, but I've earned over $6,000 per month in a single month period. And I typically earn anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 a month from premium ads. And the way this works is my website gets 135,000 sessions and I get paid $45 per 1,000 sessions. That's what RPM means. This is the first income stream. This is new. So this is actually not affiliate marketing. Now, you may be wondering, on an affiliate marketing course, why are you showing me something that's not affiliate marketing? I've transitioned my business model from something that is just pure affiliate marketing where you have affiliate links and people click them, and when you make a sale, you make commission. I've added ad revenue because this is a more predictable income stream for my business because I get paid when people just visit the website, and I get paid as well on YouTube. This is the second income stream right here. And you can see that we actually got monetized in May of last year. We earned $30, but it quickly ramped up to over $600. And then we ramped up to over $1,400 in November and Christmas, which was peak shopping season. Then it went down because in this niche, things go down after the holiday is over, but we're back up to over $1,300 a month in April, and May is not technically over, but we're over $1,000 in May as well, and we're probably going to see a higher peak in the shopping season. So this is the second income stream, a YouTube channel, because you earn AdSense and you can also get affiliate sales from YouTube. But the third income stream is, of course, affiliate marketing. Let me move myself over here where I'm typically earning around $3,000 a month on average, sometimes over $4,400 a month. Some of these older months before I was earning $4,000 a month as well. Actually, I can flip it to 2025 and we can just take a look at here. And you can see, multiple months in 2025, we were earning, $4,000 a month. So let me just flip this back. Basically, these are the 3 main income streams. Now, so this is Amazon Associates, and actually the earnings I showed you are only from the US. We're actually getting paid from all of these countries because Amazon Associates is available internationally, and we're registered to earn in Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, France. Now, US is number 1, but US makes about 80% to 90% of the earnings, okay? All right, so to summarize, I've earned over 7 figures lifetime in affiliate commissions, but I currently earn 6 figures per year, mostly passively working 10 hours per week or less. But I also want to share with you my clients' results, which are even more impressive in my opinion, because these people started less than 2 years ago. And my client here, Tyler, who I actually interviewed on the channel, recently earned over $12,300 this year. He shared this in April 2026. So this is absolutely real right now. And my clients who are following this system that I've created, that I'm literally going to walk you through step by step with the same fundamental pillars of their business, that's what I'm actually going to show you today. Now, here I have another client who reached 6-figure affiliate status, earning just under $9,000 in a single month. And Peggy here actually said that their highest day was $555 while they were on vacation in NYC. Talk about passive income. So this is absolutely real. This is the closest business model that is actually generating passive income, because if you think about it at its core, we have a website and a YouTube channel. And we create content on those two platforms, and that lives on the internet forever. It doesn't expire. Now, you have what's called evergreen content. So if you make like a review of something, you can get paid for that same review like a year, 2 years from now. But you also have content that's seasonal, like when you see best air fryers of 2026 or something where it has the year, or maybe it even has the season, like best Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals 2026. There's a lot you can do both evergreen and seasonal in terms of content. But at its core, when you create this content on your website and on your YouTube channel to live, what makes it passive income is you only have to make it once, and you can get theoretically limitless sales as long as you're getting enough traffic. Okay. All right, so first, if we want to build this business, we are going to start with choosing a niche. So for this video, we are going to use Google Gemini over ChatGPT. First of all, so many more people use ChatGPT. I mean, even your mom and grandma knows about ChatGPT, and that's a bad thing, because what that means is if everyone's using the same tool, we're going to be getting similar outputs, and that's not what we want to do. We want something that's going to be a little more original. But in addition to that, the reason why we're using Google Gemini, and this is from someone who used to use ChatGPT every single day. I had it on my phone, on my desktop, and I switched over to Gemini, and I haven't touched ChatGPT since. It's because the work that we do focuses on Google SEO and YouTube SEO and YouTube content and blogs in general. Okay, so if you think about it, Google Gemini was trained on all of the millions of videos on YouTube and all of the millions of blogs and websites on Google search results. And as an expert, having used both of those platforms side by side, including Claude, which is still good for certain things like coding and writing, but when it comes down to the actual strategy and actually giving the most useful information, Google Gemini is number one for me. I personally use Gemini on my phone, on my desktop every single day. I do recommend, if you can upgrade to the pro account for $20 a month, I absolutely think it's worth it. I've probably saved tens of hours per week using Google Gemini in my day-to-day job and business. But you can also start for free right now, which is what I'm doing here. So let's start with a simple question. How much will the affiliate marketing industry grow from 2026 to 2027? Okay, so the affiliate marketing industry is projected to see strong double-digit growth moving from 2026 into 2027. This is a year-over-year growth rate of roughly 13.5%. So asking a follow-up question, is now a good time to get into affiliate marketing? Yes, it is a great time to get into affiliate marketing, but only if you throw out the playbook from a few years ago. And as I showed you from the earnings that we're making in 2026 right now, this is as up-to-date, as current as you can possibly get at the time of uploading this video. We currently have the metagame and the playbook that's working, and I'm sharing that with you. It says the industry is healthier and more profitable than ever, surging toward a global value of $22 billion to $48 billion by 2027. And it says brands prefer affiliates over ads, and that over 80% of brands now run affiliate programs, meaning they are hungry for partners. And I can tell you, as someone who has worked with some of these largest companies to work on their affiliate program and to recruit affiliates for them, this is absolutely true. Every company is looking to invest into their affiliate program because it is just so profitable for them. They have nothing to lose. If their affiliates don't get a sale, they don't pay anything. They only pay when their affiliates get a sale. So it's honestly less risk for them. And you can see here the rise of shoppable video. So for me, the reason why I do YouTube is not only is it a great platform because it's the second biggest search engine in the world. But YouTube videos can also show up page 1 of Google to leapfrog a lot of these blogs and websites. But when it says that, you don't need a complicated website anymore, that's true to a degree. But honestly, if you're going to be missing out on potentially over $6,000 a month on ads from people who don't even need to buy anything or click your affiliate links, they literally are just visiting your website, you're making a full-time income, then that's where I would disagree here. But obviously they say a complicated website. I'm going to walk you through everything. I'm going to make it as simple, even if you're non-technical and you've never built a website before, I'm literally going to walk you through step by step. But for me, I want you to build a more robust business that has diversification of income streams. Okay. I think that makes perfect sense. That's super logical. But again, just wanting to focus on purely affiliate will mean that your business is going to rely every single month on getting new customers. And trust me, as someone who used to do just pure affiliate, you have to do a hybrid approach because you can have so many income streams. Like I only mentioned to you affiliate marketing and ad revenue, but I didn't even mention sponsorships that you can get for both your YouTube channel and for your website and email list. You can also create your own digital products. Once you've built up an audience from your brand, on your website or on an email list or on YouTube with subscribers, then you can actually create digital products like ebooks, courses, and you can sell that as an additional income stream as well. The potential is limitless. All right, so with that all out of the way, I want to jump into the first big step, and we need to choose a niche. Okay, so when it comes to choosing a niche, I like to follow this principle. It's known as Ikigai. Okay, guys, check this out. So I asked AI, what is Ikigai? Okay, and it has this summary right here. But what I want to do to make it simpler for you is to generate an image of Ikigai. Okay, and check this out. So at the core, it's your reason for being. Okay, but what you need to find is the perfect balance between what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. Okay, because you may love something but not be good at it. Okay, not good enough to get paid. Music is one example. All right. Now, in between all of these, like between what you love and what you're good at, that's your passion. All right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the world needs or that what you can be paid for. Now, what you're good at and what you can be paid for, that's your profession. What the world needs and what you can be paid for, that's a vocation. And then what you love and what the world needs is your mission. All right. Now, Ikigai is in between all 4 of these. So you have to satisfy all 4 of these. And the reason why this is an important concept is because the niche and the market that you choose is so important, but it has to be the right niche and market for you. Okay. Now, I actually walk through this process one-on-one. We do like a 30-minute, 1-hour niche workshop with my clients, and these clients spend thousands of dollars to create this business done for you, from my team with the affiliate operating system service. And I can just tell you that this step-by-step process, there's no replacement for one-on-one with an expert, but using this prompt and using these concepts, this is the closest thing that, I can give you that you can try and do this on your own. But trying to find something that is based on someone's background / passions or hobbies, and then trying to find where the market is right now with affiliate marketing, that is very, very tricky. Okay. And you need to niche down and all those things. But that's the point of this prompt. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to copy and paste this entire thing. Okay. And we're going to do this prompt together to show you this example. And you can just see how many rules there are here. That's why this Google Doc is 11 pages long, because there are so many rules that are added to this. But the good news is you don't actually have to rewrite any of this. You just have to fill out, a few questions. Okay. So we're actually going to start here with question number 1, professional career and work experience. Insert your job titles, industries you've worked in, and daily responsibilities here. What do people at work ask for your help with? Okay. Now I'm just going to go through this with you really quick, but obviously please do this live because this is the key to actually getting something live by the end of this video. And if you follow along and you actually take action, you don't just watch this and then you feel good about yourself for, the rest of the day and then you forget about it tomorrow. If you actually want to build something that can generate 6 figures outside of your job as a side hustle, you have to take action. And it's never been easier now thanks to AI. And just following along. Okay. So if I say here, I'll say professional. I'm going to go quick. You should actually fill this out with more information for the sake of this tutorial and for the sake of just time. I'm just going to answer this very quickly. Professional WordPress developer. There you go. Definitely fill this out according to the prompts. Personal passions, hobbies, and interests. What do you like to do in your free time? What books, videos you consume? What hobbies you invest money into yourself, or topics you can talk about for hours. Now, real quick note on passion versus profit. Okay. This is one of the biggest questions. And honestly, this is why Ikigai is so important, because just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean you're going to make money in it, and vice versa. Just because you can make money in it, okay? Like one example is credit cards. Credit cards is one of the most profitable affiliate niches on the planet. You can get paid like $40, $50 just for a credit card application, just for someone to sign up an application, okay? And some of these financial products, they can pay well over $200 per sign up because their LTV, or lifetime customer value, is so high. Like for example, imagine you help someone to get a loan or they sign up for insurance. I mean, those LTVs are so high that they can afford to pay you, the affiliate, hundreds of dollars per sale. Now, the reason I bring up this topic is because on the flip side, if you have a hobby that you've invested money into, you are in the shoes of the customer. You know what the customer is typing into Google, typing into YouTube. What do they need help with? What kind of buyer's guide do they need in order to make a purchase? Okay. So I'm just gonna put in cooking here. All right. But keep it simple. Now, number 3, hard skills and specialized knowledge. Insert specific tools, software, certifications, languages, or specialized skills you possess. This is honestly such a great example. And some of the concrete examples they give are Python, Salesforce, weight training, video editing, financial planning, because this actually gets you closer to affiliate. Like for example, most software companies have an affiliate program. It's usually recurring. I've personally made the majority of my affiliate commissions in the software world. So I'm very familiar with this space. And again, you can get recurring commissions that can be like 20, 30% per month for as long as that person is a customer. The reason why is because software itself is very profitable. So they have that much budget that they can allocate, because essentially when you get a customer for them, it's like you're doing the job of their marketing and sales department, okay? And that's how much they're willing to pay, and they still make a healthy profit even by giving 20, 30% per month of that fee to you. But yeah, this could be literally any software, any tools, okay? Certifications, because that typically means, you know, this is like job related or career profession related. So here I'm gonna go really simple again. I'm just gonna say WordPress. I'll say graphic design, or I'll say web design. I'm just keeping it really simple, guys. Okay, number 4, significant personal trips, challenges overcome, or achievements. Insert any major problems you solve for yourself or milestones achieved: losing 50 pounds, buying a house, overcoming a health issue, mastering a specific habit. Yeah, so for this one, there are some great ideas here. And basically, you can use some of this. Like if you lost 50 pounds, that's like part of your story, and it can help you to connect with people. It establishes authority. You know, there could be so many things here. It could be part of your mission. For me, I'm going to say here, I've helped thousands of people build a website. There we go. Okay, so the rest of this is actually going to be rules and just the rest of the prompt. You don't really need to read it. This is what I actually experimented with in order to generate this prompt and to get a good output. So again, when it comes to these models, you can just use the all-around help 3.5 Flash. If you want to get higher quality responses, you can use 3.5 Thinking. You don't really need to use 3.1 Pro, which is for advanced math and code. Honestly, Flash or Thinking typically will get the job done. But basically, I'm just going to flip this over and then I'm just going to click submit. And just note, if you use Thinking, it's going to take a few more seconds than Flash. Flash is really fast for the most part. But, you know, again, when you want to get the highest quality answer, it helps to have multiple steps of thinking and logic. And you can actually see the steps that it was sharing with you. And it's just going to go through more steps and check more things and use more tools to give you a better answer. All right. And as you can see here, we have gotten a massive answer, and it's partly because of the prompt. The prompt actually requires Google Gemini to generate a lot of information. So you are probably going to get an answer that is this long because it has to give you 3 big niches, and it also has to give supplementary information for each niche. And you can just see here just how much it's giving you. So we're going to look at these niches together and I'm going to critique them. And so the first one is that skilled infrastructure for elite food bloggers. And with each niche, they're going to give you an engine A, which is the affiliate stack. This is the products that you're going to promote, or the services or the software. And then engine B, this is actually what I inserted into here that's a little different. It's the premium ad network viability. So can you get paid high RPMs, which is how much do you get paid per 1,000 sessions. Now, you know, the parallel is going to be like YouTube. If you do something like gaming, the RPMs are going to be really low because your target audience is like young people with not much purchasing power. And just think about the content, right? It's just entertainment, right? But if you do something like personal finance, where you're helping people to make big decisions, and it's going to be maybe an older demographic that has credit cards, they have purchasing power, they have full-time jobs, they are homeowners, you're going to get paid a lot more per 1,000 views on YouTube. And, you know, I know this from firsthand experience, and you can just look this up. It's the same with websites. If you have a website audience that is going to be high end, and like I said, they're a homeowner, they have a full-time job, and they have purchasing power and, income, then they can afford to buy more, and advertisers are going to spend more to get their eyeballs. Okay. And another one to factor in for websites is country. US is number one, and the top English speaking countries like Canada, Germany, UK, Australia, you're going to get the highest ad revenue, ad rates. Now, if you have this lower tier country traffic like India and Brazil, where they don't have as much purchasing power, then you're going to get less money. Okay. And this is true of both YouTube and websites. But what I like about this is that it gives you all of these ideas. Like, for example, this is a great idea to promote WordPress themes and plugins. I've done that before, but also to promote high ticket programs. Depending on your niche, there are high ticket programs you can partner with where we're talking like the $500 to $1,000 commissions. And you also have software like recurring revenue, but then, we combine that with the ad revenue that I just explained how RPMs and ad revenue works and how to get more money with ad revenue. Okay. So the first one is skilled infrastructure for elite food bloggers. Now, I think this is a good idea, but honestly, I think it's almost a little too niche. I think that you can actually teach WordPress and you can apply it to just elite bloggers in general. Okay. And this is more of a B2B play where it's going to be not people who are like making their first blog ever, but existing blogs that, they need to have the technical aspect either taken care of for them, or they need to level up in terms of things like performance. Performance is a big issue with WordPress. There's a lot that you can do there. And then also just web agencies, like web development and design agencies or WordPress agencies. They can have a lot of clients. And see, if you're an agency, what's cool is you can basically get all of your clients to sign up for all of the software that they're going to need, all of the tools that they're going to use. Okay. And they're not going to think twice about it because, when they're your client, they're just going to do whatever you say, basically. So if you recommend this product, they're not even going to question it. Because they're paying you to handle that problem for them. And you can just say, hey, you can use my link. You can sign up to this and we'll take care of the rest for you. Okay. That's a really great, this is how you can sell a lot of software, is if you help with the implementation afterwards. And you just say, hey, we use Go High Level, for example. If you're a marketing agency, this is like a bread and butter. Like this is a typical affiliate play that works for agency owners like beautifully. Okay. And I know because I've done so myself. Now, niche idea number 2, enterprise WooCommerce optimization for DTC food brands. Again, it's niching down, which I do like, but my critique is that honestly, you can just go a little bit more broad than this if you need to, because what we can do is we can raise our ceiling by not focusing on just like one little industry or segment here. But I like the first part of the ideas. You can just swap this wherever you want, to be honest, or you can just be more general and, you do WooCommerce optimization. Again, this is like an agency, basically. So there's gonna be a lot of overlap here. And honestly, I didn't give that much data in my answers. You see, I did like one-word answers. And then the third niche is the smart culinary ecosystem, Internet of Things kitchen tech. Okay, this is where things are getting interesting because honestly, the niche of appliances, culinary tools, and these just anything with the kitchen is a perfect affiliate niche. You heard me talk about air fryers, and that's for good reason. But there's so many other appliances that you can do, and some of these cost $200, $300, $400 plus. So you're going to actually be making more high ticket commission, even if it's on Amazon. And one thing I know for a fact is that a lot of the biggest earning ad revenue websites and blogs out there are in the food/kitchen and home related niches. So I know for a fact that the ad network viability is super high. I think it's even higher than this if you can get mostly US traffic. So what I like about this is one section that adds is the competitive moat analysis. And this is what you have to actively think for your brand is how can you stand out from the crowd? How can you separate yourself in 2026? So it's a mixture of niching down, but where do you have authority in this niche so that you can stand out with anything? It could be, your personal story. Again, that's why we have the part about the struggle and everything like that. But basically what you're going to get here is you're going to get 3 solid ideas that are going to be lined up, personalized to you. That's the cool thing about this is that this isn't just some generic one sentence prompt that you type into ChatGPT, but this is actually something that you're going to fill out, and you fill out with your information, and it's going to give you a very personalized game plan and ideas. All right, so now that we did the first prompt to figure out our niche, The second step is choosing a domain name and doing your branding. And what I like to call the $1 million brand matrix. And this is going to literally help you to come up with a catchy domain and brand that you're going to use for both your website and YouTube channel. Okay. Now, this is a very, very important step. I'm going to copy this again. So let's just copy this, copy and paste this into Google Gemini. I'm going to paste that. And again, you only have to answer a few of these questions. You actually don't need to do the rest. The rest are just the rules and the steering for the prompt. All right. So you can see some ideas here, and all you have to do is you just have to replace this. And I'm going to type in here biohacking. That's what I'm going to choose for this example. Then you have to put in the target audience. Okay. Now, target audience is a really important thing to think about. Now, the reason why is because when I mentioned the ad revenues, if you target people who are English speaking in the US or the top English speaking countries, you're going to get paid more ad revenue. But you need to apply that to affiliate sales, because if you essentially are attracting low quality or just low paying audience that can't afford high ticket products, they can't afford these things, you're not gonna make a lot of money. Okay. On the flip side, if you attract a audience that has a lot of money to spend, and again, they are an older demographic, they have higher incomes, they have savings, then this is going to basically mean you're going to make more money. Okay. So I'm going to say biohacking for males ages 35 to 65. Now you can get more specific here, and the more specific you get with these prompts, the better. Okay, I'm just doing this quickly so that, you know, we can get through the video. The core benefit transformation offer: live longer and have healthier hormone health. Words or themes I like, I'll say efficient, or another word I like to use is lazy. Let's try that. Words or vibes I want to avoid: no cheap vibes, no corny puns, don't use the word expert. This is just personal preference here. Honestly, no cheap vibes is nice. That plays into my philosophy. Like I said, if you want to make more money here. Okay, so there we have it. I'm just going to click submit. Again, guys, when you're using the thinking model, it's going to take more time, but it's going to hopefully produce a higher quality answer. All right, so starting with number one, yes, we have the rules here. And what's cool about this prompt is you actually have multiple categories depending on just the style. So you can see in category one, these domains establish you as the definitive centralized hub or scientific laboratory for effortless mail optimization. Ooh, that sounds good already. But these are the authority angles: trust and leadership. Number one, lazylab.com. Okay, that's already fire. I would totally run with that. Smartbase.com. Again, super clean. Lazyhub.com. Optigrid.com, vigorhub.com. I mean, these are funny. Some of them are a little, questionable, but at the same time, these are super catchy. These are way catchier than what most people just come up with in their head without the use of AI. Let's move on to category number two, the minimalist, modern blend, brandable, and sleek. Lazyshift.com, corevigor.com. I like that one. Nextvital.com. I like that. Lazycore.com. It's all right. It's catchy, but it's like, it doesn't really describe what I'm going for. And then lazyprime.com. Okay, I get it, but again, it's not the best idea. Now, number three is the action and outcome angles, verbs and results, mastervital.com. That sounds great. Lazymaster.com. That could be a lot of things that it refers to. So I don't really like, it's not super obvious. Drivevigor.com. Again, that's kind of like that. Buildvigor.com. That could work. Lazythrive.com. That could work as well. A little vague. And so we got some other tips here that are important, like trademark and ICANN, and yeah, just doing the legals of seeing, what's out there, like USPTO tests. Like, this is actually one of my tips and steps that I do with my clients to make sure there's no trademark issues. Okay. Again, not a lawyer, so consult a lawyer or your attorney for legal advice. This is not professional legal advice, but this is something that we do so that you have less issues down the road. Okay. So these are awesome ideas. Honestly, I already have a domain that we're going to use for this idea. And I actually already have built this out because I had to do this first, but I'm using biocoreprotocol.com. This is actually something I got from Google Gemini. So this is actually from the prompts and the tools that you're using right now. And so I went with biocoreprotocol.com, and I highly recommend the .com. Basically, later on, I'm going to show you a step when we get to the websites. I'm going to show you how to purchase your first domain name. It only costs around $10 a year. I actually spent less than $7 per year for the first year of biocoreprotocol.com on Namecheap because it was on sale. Okay, so this is the third prompt. This is the branding and color design prompt that's going to help with choosing your color palette that's going to be used for both your logo and your website. Okay, so this is pretty awesome. I'm going to copy this and then you're going to fill this out. And this follows real UX UI designer like rules like 60, 30, 10, things like that. This thing is a genius. Okay, so all you have to do is fill this out. It could not be easier than this. It's going to help us choose the colors. That's something that people mess up all the time on their website. Most people are not designers. Okay, so when they choose random colors that just do not work together, they clash. It's bad news. So say biohacking for men, my target audience, males, what did I say, 35 to 65. And what do you want to go for? The core vibe and the persona. You can do ultra modern and technical, trustworthy and corporate, luxury and premium, energetic and motivational. That one sounds good. I'm literally just gonna take that out. Boom. So there you go. All you have to do is answer literally 3 things and it's going to do the rest for you. Okay. So basically it says here some examples and high octane vitality, clinical authority. Yeah. Okay. That sounds really good. So it's going to give you hex codes. Okay. And so what we're doing is a gray and an obsidian, which is like a dark blue, black color. And so it's going to be the 60, 30, 10 rule, which is the accent for your links and stuff are going to be orange. Okay. That's a nice contrast to like the gray and the black. Okay, so we're going to take these hex codes actually and insert it into our website. And that's something that we can do also for our logo. So I have another prompt. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to keep this chat. I'm going to open up a new chat and we're actually going to generate an image. So you can actually even go into images here using Nano Banana 2. That's like the latest image generation model. Okay, now I have a logo making prompt. Now you can do this both via the text that we just did, or you can also do this via Nano Banana. It doesn't really matter. Okay, it's gonna still generate. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna just try the text first. I'm just going to paste this in and I'm just going to type in here my brand name. It's called BioCore Protocol and you can do like all caps. It just depends how you like to style it. So sometimes what I like to do is, you can do all caps. That's like easy. And I'm going to do it for this, but you can also do one where it's kind of like if you have 2 words or 3 words, you can just capitalize the first letter like that. Like that's pretty clean. Obviously, if you have like separate words as well, you can just add spaces and just have, 3 separate words. Okay. And then I say my niche and industry again. I'm just like copying this. My core brand colors. This is where that other chat comes into play. So if I open up the sidebar, I'm literally going to insert the hex code of the primary and the secondary. Well, I'll just insert all 3 hex codes here, separated by a comma, just copy, paste, boom. And I do want to hold on to this for if I want to generate more logos. Okay, so there we go. And then, like I said, yeah, bold and energetic. That sounds pretty good to me. And that's all you have to do. So just click enter. Now it's creating your image. So you can see that this prompt actually prompted Nano Banana to summon, to activate, and it's not giving us a text response, it's giving us an actual image generation. Okay, so let's see what it comes up with. Taking some time. I'm doing this all real time, by the way, just to see. Wow, that is awesome. Like that is so cool with that little like DNA with the like arrow. I think that's pretty masculine. It looks really cool. This could be on a t-shirt. And you can see that it actually bolded the first part to separate BioCore from protocol. Okay, this is starting to look like a real brand. Like this actually is a true company. And I'm just gonna click the download button and that's gonna just generate. It's a PNG, so hopefully it's transparent. All right, guys, so as you can see here, I did open this up and it does look like it's a transparent image. You're going to need a transparent PNG. Now, another way I like to make logos aside from AI is I like to use Canva, which also has AI, but with Canva, you can actually just make logos using a template and then you just type in your name. You can edit the colors and everything yourself. It's a little bit more work, to be honest, but I use Canva. That's one of the tools I use every day for my business, but I want to show you the full AI way where you can just do things with a simple prompt. And this looks awesome, by the way. All right, guys, so unfortunately we do need a transparent background, which I did try to create here inside of Google Gemini. Let me try one more thing. Maybe I can use Nano Banana to make it transparent. So I'm just going to add the logo here. Okay, so here's the logo with that gray background. Can you make this with a fully transparent background and the file in PNG format. Creating your image. Let me just move over here real quick. And if this can't do it, I have another solution. We're going to use Canva, and I'm going to show you how to make a logo from scratch in Canva anyways, just in case, this isn't working or it's being finicky. Okay, so here's what it did. It didn't actually give us it has a baked in checkerboard pattern. It needs true alpha channel transparency. So this is just an issue I'm running into with logos specifically. For every other image, Nano Banana is awesome. So that's why I use Canva. I have more control. Basically, for Canva, what you can do is you can just use a template and you can just describe your logo. Like, what kind of logo do you want? And you can say like fitness logo, for example, and you can just insert your niche here. And it's going to give you a ton of relevant branding stylistically to your niche. Okay. And that's actually how I created this logo that I do feature on the website. But what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to add a page. I'm going to upload that image here. So what I've done here is I've actually uploaded that image that I got from Google Gemini, and I'm actually going to just crop that. There's a little watermark there. And what you can do is just click this background remover. Now, this is a pro feature. That's why there's a crown. I believe Canva is somewhere around $12.99 USD per month. This is one of the tools that I genuinely use on a daily basis for my affiliate brands and for my personal brand as well, when I need to make certain graphics, whether it's YouTube channel graphics, website graphics, YouTube thumbnails, things like that. So I'm just going to click the background remover, and this should do a little bit of magic here and just leave us with the logo, which it did exactly that. So the reason why we want transparent background logo is because we can then insert this into our website. And I'm going to export this and just show you why. But what's cool is you can also take this background here and you can flip the colors just to like mock it up, or, do whatever you want. If you wanted a background, you can do whatever background you want. It's pretty cool. You can also insert some of those hex codes. So for example, I'm going to go into Google Gemini and I'm going to go grab those hex codes that we were using. Okay, so these were the hex codes, right? So if you want to see an example of that background, I believe this is that gray. So I can just literally, you select your layer here, like I'm selecting the background, and you click this background color and you click this plus button, and then you just paste that in. And so that creates, I guess this is supposed to be like a gray. It's like super bright. So that doesn't really work with our logo. Let's go get that obsidian color, because that's going to be more contrast. And this is just an example. I'm going to export this soon, and then we're going to put on the website to really mock it up. There you go. The obsidian is like a dark navy blue, which is very nice against the orange and the white. Or this is probably that gray hex code. It's just super light. It looks white. But okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to remove that because we just need a background that's transparent. I'm going to click the share button. Okay. I'm going to click download. I'm going to use PNG. Here's the important step. You have to click transparent background. Okay. This is a logo. We're going to use it on multiple, not just our website, but social media, etc. And you just want to select that one page, current page, done. And transparent background, 500 by 500. PNG is important because PNG means transparent background. If you don't do PNG, it's going to have whatever's in the background. If it's white, if it's, black, it's going to have that, and it's not going to be seamless. So we're going to just click done. We're going to just download that, and then we're going to download that to our computer. All right, so what I want to do is show you a preview. This is skipping a little bit further ahead. You're going to get to this page later in the tutorial, but I'm actually going to change this logo and show you the new logo, which we've created. And the cool thing is I've got the logo here, and you can also crop it if you want. Now, for me, I actually like to crop my logos in the computer. I'm on Mac, so I use preview, and you literally just start like making a box here. Like I just drag this, boom. And then I like to crop out as much empty space as possible. So it's just the logo, and all you have to do is go to tools and press crop, and I use the command K, and then I just save that. And so I'm going to go here, I'm going to upload this. Okay, so you can see this is a cropped version of the logo. I'm going to select it. Oh, here's the page where you can actually crop it inside of WordPress if you want to. So you actually didn't need to do that step. I just do that for other images that I use on a daily basis. So I crop that, and you can see it's taken over, but the problem is our top menu menu is in white. So we're going to have to change that to have the contrast, but the logo is looking really cool. And basically all we have to do is just change the top bar, change the background, which there we go. So what we're going to do here is do the header. And like I said, with the hex code, we can use this obsidian, which looks really nice against the orange and the white. So I'm going to hop into here. I just paste in that hex code and look at that. Look how useful AI is, giving us these awesome colors. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a contrast difference here. We can change anything. Honestly, none of this is an issue. Primary navigation. Okay, here we go. This is the issue. So we're going to actually flip this. I'm going to use that hex code for obsidian again. There we go. Beautiful. And we have to obviously flip the navigation text to be either white, or we can use that gray color that we have here. This is the executive gray. Oh yeah, that's the thing. They said this is actually cool. This is that orange color that we can use for links. This might actually be a better contrast. So let me flip that. And that's pretty cool. I mean, that's looking pretty awesome. The only difference I think is the highlighted text. You can see the navigation text becomes this blue. So there's hover color and current color. If you're on home, which we are, that's what it's going to be. So basically, what I could do is I could make these white, or I can make them the orange color. So what I might do is I might make everything else white, and then the current color is going to be that orange, which I have right here. I just copy, flip back here, and then I just boom, I can do that, and I can just apply it to both of these. Okay, there you go. So you can do either or. I mean, you can see it actually turns orange when I hover, but since we're on home, it's highlighted the orange, or vice versa. You can highlight home white, and then the other menu items can be orange. Either way, this is looking pretty awesome. I'm going to save this actually. We're going to use this for later. We're kind of skipping ahead, but I just want to show you the logo and how we can make the logo. This was the old one that I had for the example. And now you can see the new one is looking quite executive. You know, it's quite professional, and it's all thanks to AI. Thank you so much, Google Gemini, for this awesome logo. We had to touch it up a little bit. See, this is why you can't just rely on AI. You do need to have some skills outside of the game. But when you use AI and you know what you're doing, you can have awesome stuff. So we skipped further ahead there, but basically when it comes to the prompts, so we've done the branding, we have the domain, we've done the branding, the color design, the color palette, the color theory, all that. We've made an awesome logo. Genuinely couldn't be better. Like this is amazing. This is something I would pay a designer, who knows, $50 to $100, or someone on Fiverr for, $10, $20. But to be honest, we got this for free, and it was, in a few seconds. So you can't beat that. But anyways, going back to here, we've done most of these things, but now we're going to do some of the strategy with the content. Okay. But before that, what I want to insert into this course is the website setup and tutorial, starting with the domain name, which we've picked one, but we haven't bought it. So this next part of the tutorial is going to be purchasing the domain to setting up your web hosting account so you can install the domain and install WordPress. Okay. And then you can set up your website like we have here. So this is going to help you get to this part that we have here, where we actually have a live website that is on the internet. It has your custom domain. You can visit it right now. You can set this up in literally probably an hour or less if you just follow along with the tutorial. And so you're going to watch that and you're going to do that step. Then we can go into the strategy. Okay. And it'll be nice because if you actually have something live, then we can talk about everything, like what you're going to write about, what keywords we're going to research. We're going to write our first blog post together, and we're going to publish that as well. We're going to add affiliate links, everything. I'm going to show you how to actually build the whole foundation for this business, and that will be next. So build the website, get something live, up and running, looking, similar to this. And then we're going to dive into our content strategy to actually establish our brand in our niche so that we can become a player and build some authority, okay, and start getting some traffic and getting some sales. So moving on, I'm going to walk you through the 2 most important steps and homework that you can do today to start your blog, and it can all cost less than $10 upfront today. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to first purchase a domain name. This is a custom website name, ideally a .com. This is your first piece of online real estate and a critical part of building a professional brand online. You gotta have it. And secondly, I'm gonna show you how to sign up for web hosting. I'm gonna walk you through this entire process, and you can get started today for free with a free trial, and we can connect both that custom domain to our brand new website account. And by the end of today, you can actually have your website live on the internet. This is gonna be a huge first step towards actually building your business. So let's jump into how to buy a domain. So the very first step is you're going to need to buy a domain name. Now, real quick, I'm going to give you a pro tip utilizing AI. So I'm here using Google Gemini, and I'm actually using a free account just for this demonstration. But if you want to get better results, I would sign up or sign in with your Gmail, and I would actually use the thinking model of Gemini 3 Pro. But I'm just going to use the fast one for this demonstration, and I'm using this prompt right here that I created: find professional available domain names preferring .com extension for an authority website insert your niche here. So in this example, I'm doing in the biohacking niche, and I'm just going to press enter. All right, so as you can see here, it's not the best presentation, but I get what they're doing. They basically searched this up to make sure that it was available using this Google search query. So what I can do is I can actually grab some of these domains, and in another tab, I'm opening up namecheap.com. This is my preferred domain registrar. As the name suggests, we can buy domains for cheap for as low as $6.79. That's why we can get started today for less than $20. So all I'm going to do is start pasting in those domain names to see if they're actually available. All right, so great. The first domain that I found is actually available, and you can utilize that promo code to get started for as little as $6.79 and buy this domain. This is the first step to having online real estate that you own, and it is a premium.com. I highly recommend you use the .com extension. The only other extension I would consider is something like the .co if the .com is not available. And some of my other tips on crafting a professional brand is I like to limit it to 3 words maximum inside of the domain, ideally 2 words or less. For example, you have systemicupgrade.com. That's a pretty cool one. Vitalityanalytic.com. That sounds pretty official. Humanoptima.com sounds really good, really catchy. And biologiclabs.com. 3 words, but relatively short words. I don't like my domains to be too wordy. And I would also suggest that you do not add dashes. Some people add these dashes to find available.coms, but honestly, this looks pretty spammy, and Google looks at this as categorizing these sites mostly as lower quality spammy sites. All in all, you really want to look as official as possible. So once you find an available domain, all you have to do is click add to cart, and you're going to check out. All right, so as you can see here, it says our subtotal is $11.18. So if you want to take advantage of that $6.79 promo code, you do have to log in or create a free account. So I would do that first, and you can get this for even cheaper. Now, when you're checking out, you don't need to do any of these upsells that they're going to try to sell you on. Save your money, just buy the domain. That's all you need. And after you check out and purchase this, we're going to revisit this later when we connect this to our website. Now, the next step is to create a WordPress website. So first we need to get web hosting. Now, there's obviously countless web hosting companies out there, and I've used most of the major ones that focus on WordPress, but my preferred web hosting company that I have partnered with is Cloudways by DigitalOcean. And if you don't trust me, I can ask Google Gemini if Cloudways and DigitalOcean is one of the best hosting companies in the world. And you can see here in 2026, DigitalOcean and Cloudways are consistently ranked among the top cloud hosting companies. Now, if you're in the tech space or if you're a developer, you obviously know DigitalOcean. It is arguably the most popular cloud company aside from AWS and Heroku. And I've been migrating over and building my WordPress websites using Cloudways, especially this new Lightning stack that has up to 65% faster performance built on Nginx. So now I'm going to show you how to set up a server and install WordPress on Cloudways, and I'll show you how to save some money using my promo code in just a bit. So the first step is to go into the video description below or to the pinned comment where there's going to be my affiliate link to Cloudways. I do earn a commission, but it helps to support the channel and to make content like this available for free on YouTube. It's what I use myself in 2026. And by using my link, you're actually going to save money because I'm going to give you a special discount today. So the first thing you're going to do, once you click that link, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. And what's cool is you can actually start completely free with a free trial today. So all I'm going to do is scroll down and click this start free button. All right, so moving on to the next sign up page, it's really cool to see that they're actually rated the #1 cloud hosting on G2. That's super legit. And you can see some of the benefits here, like starting with a 3-day free trial, no credit card, no charges today. So really, we're getting started for just the price of that domain name, which can be less than $7. We also get free Object Cache Pro and SSL certificate. And the plan comes with unlimited websites. And one cool thing that Cloudways has started doing is unlimited migration. So if you're on another web host, and I'll be completely honest here, a lot of those cheap web hosting companies are hurting your performance. The WordPress websites that I have on the new Lightning stack with Cloudways are insanely fast, which is why I'm currently migrating a ton of my sites over to Cloudways as we speak. And performance and load times is honestly one of the best advantages you can have for your affiliate website in 2026. It's going to help you rank higher on Google and get better user experiences, which is just going to lead to you making more money. All right, so as you can see here, you can get started absolutely free, no credit card required. You can use one of these authentication methods, or if you just want to do the traditional email and password, you can do that as well. I would probably use the Google myself. All right, so moving on to the third page of the sign up, I chose the Google login and I accepted the permissions. Once you fill out a password, you just have to describe yourself. I'm just going to put here a blogger, and my monthly hosting spending is $0 to $50. Now, this is really important. This will give you 20% off for 2 months. This is my special promo code, a gift to you. I'm going to have this in the description so you can copy and paste, but you just have to add ODI Productions and you should see the promo code applied successfully. Check the box after you have checked out the terms of service and the privacy policy, and all that's left is to click sign up. Now, you may see a quick account verification. All you have to do is put in your phone number. Make sure this is a real phone number and choose the correct country code as well. I'm in the US, so I'm going to do +1. All right, so as you can see, I have successfully completed the Cloudways sign up. Now, you have two options here. You can start with the 3-day free trial and there's no payment method required. This is if you want to just test the waters. But for me, one of my best advice when it comes to this business is give it 1 year. I think where you're going to see a real difference and you're going to see the real results that I've seen with my clients. The time frame that they always bring up is 12 months. If you take it seriously for 12 months, you commit to this business, you create content on a weekly basis, you show up every single week for 52 weeks, that's when you're going to see the most results. So I'm actually going to walk you through the pricing plans because you're going to have to do this anyways after the free trial is over. So I might as well show you now. So I'm going to click this get full access right here. So all you're going to do is fill out your billing details, add a payment method so that you can just move forward and sign up. All right, so once you've added that, let me walk you through how to set up the best WordPress install for your account. And to walk you through some of the plans here, help you to choose the proper setup, the right size to help you save money and just get the best value. So I'm over here, I'm creating my first server. So it says deploy your managed application. We're going to choose optimize WordPress because this is going to take advantage of that Lightning stack and be the fastest, most optimized version of WordPress right out of the box without having to touch anything. So for application name, you can just put your domain here, or you can take off the .com. Server name, honestly, you can do pretty much the same thing, or you can take it off and just call it server. And then project name, you can actually make it the domain itself. When it asks you which application stack, you're going to choose the Lightning stack that is 10 times faster. It's built with Nginx and Varnish caching. Next, it's going to ask select your server. I'm just going to go with DigitalOcean, but you can see you have a bunch of options here. But I think DigitalOcean is what Cloudways is most optimized optimize for because DigitalOcean owns Cloudways. For database type, just stick with MariaDB. And for server type, we're actually just going to go with basic for now. So the default here is 4 gigabytes. Now, personally, I recommend 2 gigabytes for the best value as far as price to performance ratio. WordPress websites tend to be fairly resource heavy. And like I mentioned, having that performance advantage of faster load times is something that is actually going to create an ROI for your business. Trust me, when there's millions of websites out there and a lot of them are using that cheap hosting that takes forever to load, when a visitor comes across one of my affiliate brands or my websites and they get this super fast, snappy experience, it really makes an impression and it results in higher engagement, which is going to lead to higher Google rankings. Just trust me on that. I've tested this many times. So as you can see here, the 2 gigabytes is $28 per month. The very lowest I would do is 1 gigabytes, which starts at $14 a month. And if you use my promo code ODI Productions, remember you're getting 20% off for the first 2 months. That's going to knock down this price even more. So yeah, if you're serious about this business and you want it to one day generate 5 figures per month, then the 2 gigabyte basic plan is what I would go with. You can start with monthly, but I would commit for at least 1 year to really give this an honest effort. Now, moving on to location. So I would choose where you think that your main customer is going to be. Choose the location that is closest to them. Now, New York is a very safe pick because for me, most of my audience is in the US. The highest paying audience for both advertiser RPM and for affiliate sales is in the US, and New York is right, not in the middle, but it is a nice midway between the west side of the US and Europe. The tier 1 countries are going to be the English speaking countries. So New York is a nice midway point. But if you're international and your traffic is going to be somewhere else, then I would choose the city that is closest to you. So my personal choice is New York, and all you have to do is click launch now. Okay, so now you're going to see this page that says adding server, your high-speed application will be ready in approximately 7 minutes. So now you can maybe go grab a coffee, wait for this to finish, and we'll pick back up after it's ready. All right, y'all, so it's been 7 minutes and our server is active. It's live right now. So what we're actually going to do is click into applications because you have the server, but then the application is where our WordPress website actually is found. So I click into applications here and you can see this WordPress logo and I'm going to click into this. All right, so I've clicked into that and you can actually access your WordPress site. It's actually live using a free Cloudways URL for now. So if I just click this application URL, you will actually see a live WordPress website. So you've actually technically already launched your website. All right, so now that we have WordPress installed, now it's time to talk about my recommended theme and plugins that you can actually take this to the next level. So starting off the bat, as you can see here, it's pretty barren, but to be honest, what's interesting is that you could actually use this and already start doing affiliate marketing. So you can already start writing blogs, and basically you can even take this default theme, write some blogs, make some content, and that's already going to be eligible to get you into affiliate programs and networks. Once you build this out, you can't just have, a hello world post here like a default. You need to have 10, 20 blog posts, make this look a little bit more lived in. And one interesting thing is I'm actually going to test the performance right out of the box just to show you that this is already pretty good. So I'm taking this blog post right here. I'm actually on the blog post itself. And this is a good test because the content that you want to rank on Google is actually going to be your blog post article. So this is like a skeleton basically of what you want to have ranked on Google. It's going to be the same format. It's going to have more words, it's going to have some images, but let's just test right out of the box. What is the performance right now using Google's official page speed insights? I have the URL right here. I'm just going to click this analyze button and it's going to run the analysis and we get to see what the bare bones performance is right out of the box. All right, so the test just ran and as you can see here, this is almost perfect right out of the box. We have a 99 for performance, a 100 for accessibility, a 100 for best practices, a 92 for SEO on mobile. We go to desktop, it's 100 performance. So this is what I'm saying. You already have really great performance right out of the box and it's all due to our web hosting, okay? That's why you need to start with fast web hosting because it's going to make your life easier. I haven't even touched any performance plugins. I haven't done any optimizations, which I'll show you how to do next to get further performance, especially once you start to make your website a little bit more bloated with more plugins, more themes, and things like that. Again, this is pretty barren, but this is a good baseline test to see what is the performance of just our raw web server. Okay, so let's talk about themes. There are hundreds, thousands of themes. So if you want to install a new theme, basically you go to your dashboard, go to appearance, and you're going to go into themes here. Okay, now you will see your installed themes, and you will see the default we're using is 2025. All right, but you're going to click this button, add theme. Now in add theme, you get to see that there's over 8,000 themes here for you to look through, to preview. If you want to preview a theme, you just basically click the preview button, and it's going to show you how your website is going to look like using this theme. Okay, so basically I'm going to X out of here. But the problem with themes is this. You honestly need to pick a lightweight theme that's not going to slow down your website. And typically the themes that are very heavy with JavaScript and lots of effects and animations and things like that, the things that are basically very fancy and they're very flashy, they are typically slower, which is going to hurt your performance, your rankings, and your user experience. Okay, so what theme do I recommend? Now, I actually use a paid theme. It's called Rehub. And if you actually want to get my one-click copy and paste settings that I use with that theme, because that theme basically has like a dozen themes inside of it, and you actually cannot get it from here for free. It's not a free theme. Let me be clear there. I'm going to show you a free theme because I want to save you some money today. But in my full tutorial inside of our school community, you can one-click copy and paste my exact settings. Again, I use a theme called Rehub, but within Rehub, there's so many different settings. It's a lot to go over. Okay, but in this video, I'm going to give you the basics, and I'm going to give you a free theme. It's called GeneratePress. All right. So what you're going to do here is you're basically just going to type into the search themes box. I'm going to move myself down here, make it a little easier to read. You're just going to type in GeneratePress. Okay. And you should be able to see it pop up. I've already installed it. So when you hover over this, all you have to do is click install, which is going to be where this activate button is. Once it's installed, you'll see an activate button, and you just click activate. Okay, there we go. We've actually activated it. And so let's see if it changed anything about our website. Let's go to the homepage here for our website. Okay, now you see it's a little bit different. Now, this is the first golden nugget I want to share. If you want to make a professional website that's going to be basically built for ads, you want to follow what's known as a 2/3, 1/3 layout. And this right here is perfectly a basic, bare bones, but it is functional 2/3 for the reading portion and then 1/3 for the widgets. Okay. So what's cool about this is that this is the format that you've seen on tons of blogs, right? Where you have the sidebar with all these little widgets on the side, but then on the left-hand side is the blog post, the content. It's gonna be the images, the words, etc. Okay. The reason why this is the preferred layout is for showing ads. Okay. Because once you start adding ads to your website using something like Mediavine, what you'll notice is you will see ads show up on the bottom bar. You'll see ads show up on the sidebar. That's the importance of the 1/3 sidebar. Okay. See, if you had a theme like our default theme that you saw originally, where everything's just in the middle, it's actually not making great space for ads to pop up. So by doing this, you actually dedicate that 1/3, especially once you start scrolling down. There's nothing here, right? If you keep scrolling and you have like a 2,000 word blog post, what's going to pop up is known as a sticky sidebar ad. That's actually one of the high revenue driving ads for those premium ad networks. Another one that you're going to see in this bottom right is going to be a video player. Okay. Mediavine, they definitely like using that universal video player is what it's called. And you're going to see that in the bottom right. It's going to be sticky and it's going to be showing ads. It's going to be showing videos, and that's making money for the site owner. So those are the main ad formats. The other one is going to be, if you have like a lot of words here, it's going to interject ads in between your paragraphs and your images on your content itself. Okay. And it does this all programmatically. It's all automatic. You use a script. This is why we're using WordPress, because with WordPress, basically what you'll do once you get into these ad networks, you'll just add a plugin. But basically, just to, kind of wrap up on themes here, GeneratePress, it's super fast. Let's actually test this just to see if it slowed down our website at all. So I'm going to go back here. You see we already ran this once using the default theme. I'm just going to click analyze again. It should be updated to the GeneratePress theme. But basically, this is one of the most lightweight, and again, it's bare bones, but you can still customize this a lot more on top. I'm going to do a little customization right now just to show you, but look at this. If anything, it went even higher. It got better. We have a 100 performance on mobile, a 100 accessibility, 100 best practices, 92 on SEO, desktop 100, 96, 192. So if anything, not only did it not slow down our site, it actually got better. We were at 99. We're at 100 now. Okay, so, basically what this says is that this theme is awesome because one, it follows the 2/3, 1/3, but two, it's super fast. Okay, now I'm gonna spice it up a little bit because it's still boring, it's bare bones. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a logo that I made in Canva. Okay, that's gonna spice things up. It's gonna make this website look a lot more legit by replacing this just top left. Okay, so what you're gonna do, you go back into themes or appearance, and you're gonna see generate press has been added. You click into that, and then you're gonna go into site identity and click open options. All right, now in open options, you scroll down, you're gonna see logo, and you're gonna click select logo, and all you have to do is drag and drop your logo file onto this page right here. All right, so here we have my logo. You can actually edit this if you want to. You can crop it. Basically, I could, take this, and you could do anything. You can rotate it, you can, change the size. So here we have my logo. I've uploaded it, and all I have to do basically is click select, and it's gonna allow you to crop it here to show you basically what you want to show. So I'm actually gonna crop it a little tighter because you have all this empty space, right? It's a square. So I'm actually gonna go like this. This is just best practice to make sure that we're showing all of the logo and it's not going to look too small, because if it shows the whole empty space, it may make the logo look small. Okay, so as you can see here, it's actually now it's looking like pretty big. So if anything, obviously it was a little too maybe even a little too much, but basically, let's just take a look now. Okay, great. We have our logo. We still have that. I can remove that by going back here. I can hide the site title. I'm just going to check that box. And then I'm going to hide the site tagline as well, even though there was no tagline. And then, the width, you can actually change the width here. There's multiple ways to do this. You could have done it from the other image editing upload. But here you can actually set the width because this was a little too big, honestly. So I'm actually dropping the width down to 200. 200 to 250 is typically a nice, width in terms of the logo. And I'm just going to publish this, and we're going to see if it made a difference. And as you can see here, much cleaner. We've removed that unnecessary tagline. And now, we're getting one step closer to having an official website. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do real quick, I just want to add a menu. Okay. Now we do have the menu here. You have this sample page, but I just want to add a little bit more just to show you how to add a menu. Okay, because that's going to be one of the key things. If you have an affiliate manager or an affiliate program looking at your application or your website, they want to see multiple pages. They want to see multiple posts. Like I said, 10 to 20 posts. You want to have multiple pages and about page. Okay, so I'm going to show you a very quick about page, and I'm going to do that really fast just to give you an example. And honestly, anything here, you can just take it, you can run with it, and you can do more. So I'm just gonna make an about page. I went to add page on that sidebar there. You can actually change the slug. So if you want it to be like about me or anything, I like /about, just shorter is better. And then here, one cool thing, I'm actually going to go into a little bit of AI. Let's go into Google Gemini. All right, guys, so let's do a little bit of AI. I'm going to say generate an about page for my biohacking blog called Biocore Protocol. All right, y'all, Google Gemini, absolute genius. What we're going to do here is we're going to take this. I've already read it. It's pretty interesting. I mean, for just a couple of seconds spent on this, it's pretty amazing. It's better than starting with nothing. So I'm literally just going to click copy here. Okay, I've copied this to the clipboard. I'm going to go into my edit of the about page. Let me close this out. About page, I'm going to click paste. All right. I don't recommend you do this for blogs. All right. But basically, just for an example, I think this is pretty good. And so I'm going to basically just run with this. Honestly, I think the formatting is decent already. Just copy and pasted pretty seamlessly from Google Gemini. And then so all I'm going to do is click publish now. And then we're going to look at it live. We can click view page here on the bottom right. And as you can see here, look at this, formatted perfectly. It has the boldings. It has the quoted text. It has the headings. It has the lists. Amazing. All right, look, we're moving quick, guys. And look, this actually already got added to our top menu, but I want to show you how to actually edit your top menu professionally. So you go in appearance, okay, you go into menus, and basically the way it works is we already have menu 1 here that's already created, and it actually added the about. It has a home page, it has the about, and it has a sample page, okay? So ideally what you have here is you have these categories, and right now we don't have a category, but I'm just going to check this uncategorized, and I'm just going to add this to the top menu. So basically you have to create a menu, and then what you're going to do with that menu is you're going to check this box, display location, primary menu. So look at this. Basically we're on the page here. You don't see this, right? You see an about page, you see the sample page. Once you click save menu, what you will see is this is going to now take over And there you go. It's now showing the home, the about, the sample page, uncategorized. And now look, we have 4 pages. You click into the about, boom, you got the about. Look how fast this website loads, by the way. That was real time. And we're starting to really cook with some gas here. Okay. You can see we have multiple pages. I like to have 3 categories, if you choose 3 categories for your pillars for your website. But basically, we are 80, 85, 90% of the way there because we already have the 2/3, 1/3 layout. Okay, we have a custom logo, we have a custom domain, right? It's not free, .wordpress.com, whatever. We have, our about page. Hopefully you have some categories that you can add. Maybe you have a resources page. The sky's the limit. There's so many things you could do here. All right. Now, basically, our performance is already top notch. We're already at a 100. So it's all thanks to the hosting. I didn't do any performance plugins, as you saw. I've only been doing theme, and the theme actually made things even better, which usually when you do a custom theme, it makes things worse. But because, GeneratePress is so lightweight, it didn't hurt our performance, it actually improved it. But yeah, basically, this is the core setup. And I could take this setup, and as long as I created original high quality content, then I could actually start making money with this. I can scale this up to $10,000 a month. All right, so we are picking up here. You have your website launched. It has a custom domain. It's live on the internet. So now let's talk about our content strategy for both the website and YouTube, because content is going to be the core of your business. And content is online real estate. That's the best way to think about it, because when you create content, that can be evergreen. It can live on the internet. It can rank for certain keywords. And I'm going to show you keyword research very soon, how you can do that for as cheap as possible and still get great results with SEO. But the first thing is we need to have a strategy of what we're going to even write about. And I like to call this the money-making content matrix, okay? And basically, we need to come up with the categories and the pillars of what our website is going to focus on. This is part of niching down. Okay, so let's actually just do this together. I'm going to copy the prompt like we typically do, and it's going to generate an output for us, and we're going to fill this out together. So I'm going to hop back here, and I can continue this chat. I can do a fresh chat if I want to keep things organized, but you can see this is where we made the logo. I'm just going to paste it down here, just continue that. And as always, you just have to fill out here. I'm just going to fill out very quickly my chosen niche. I'm going to go very simple. My primary brand name and angle. I'm just going to say the brand name, BioCore Protocol. Target audience, very simple. I would try and be more descriptive here, but male 35 to 65. And that's all you need to do. So I'm going to click enter, and it's going to run this prompt, which I have created for you. And again, this is part of niching down. So by choosing, let's say 3 categories, that is part of niching down, because you can't just do fitness in 2026. Like, that's going to not stand out from the noise at all. You need to be able to call out a specific target demographic. You need to go deeper into certain things. And this is really where things get exciting. So you see some of these ideas, telemedicine, TRT. These are things that are getting, very popular, especially TRT. That's something, especially for my demographic, that I just put here. Testosterone is so important. That's why I put earlier, hormone health, that's part of it. And then we have wearable, cortisol mitigation. So, dealing with stress, that's very important. Sleep engineering, huge about that. That's like Oura Ring, NAD+, mitochondria, so cellular energy and longevity. Epigenetic protocols. All of this stuff is juicy. It's really juicy. And hopefully this applies, for your niche. This is going to give you some great ideas as well. And, this is one of the best prompts, because I'm looking at these. I'm reading things like I said, testosterone, DHEA, thyroid, HRV. I actually track my HRV daily. And you have blood chemistry panels, things like that. Some of this does get towards the more medical, which you need to worry about YMYL, which is your money or your life. So what that means is Google scrutinizes websites and content that is, requires an expert in medical or financial. All right, that's something to think about. Now, it doesn't mean you can't succeed. You just have to be very careful, and you have to establish a lot of authority. I have clients who are in medical niches and they're doing very well. They're making over $8,000 a month, and they don't have any medical credentials. They're not a doctor, for example. Okay, they don't have any of those letters in front of their name, like MD, things like that. But you have to be very careful. Okay, that's just the key thing there. And you might be subject to more of the Google algorithm changes. So that's just a tip. That's a pro tip right there, that that's something to worry about, to look out for from my experience. Okay. Now, these are awesome. Okay. I'm not going to go into all of this, but just from a glance, I'm being into the biohacking niche myself. I can say that these are great ideas. Like, this is so useful, so helpful. Things like sauna, for example, when I think about high ticket. There's also all the wearables right now. Like, they just released that new Google Fitbit, I believe. But of course, Apple Watch, Oura Ring, Whoop, you name it. They got so much. And some of these are some of the more high end. There we go. Whoop versus Oura Ring. See, that's a great keyword right there. So wearables might be one of my categories that I add to my website. So I might take some of this ideas. I may choose 3 of the main categories, and I would actually make the top menu of my website and my content. You see, we have an uncategorized. I would actually add those 3 categories to my website. That is basically why we do this prompt right here, to give us clarity there. Now, if you want to make this more actionable, we can move on to the next prompt. Let's talk about keyword research. And this is going to be great. I'm going to show you how to do keyword research, how to use this tool. To my knowledge, this is one of the cheapest keyword research tools out there. I'm going to try and save you money. That's what I always try and do with my tutorials, is give you the best value. But basically, with keyword research, I'm going to use this prompt right here. We're going to start here, and then I'm going to actually jump into the tool and on Google search and everything and show you. So I actually have 2 prompts for keyword research. The first one is 50 contextual keywords. This is the authority velocity framework. Why is it called that? Basically, when you launch a brand new website or a brand new YouTube channel, Google and your audience needs to learn, what are you about? Now, one issue is if you are too spread out all over the place with your topics for your first 10, 20 videos and blog posts, Google has a hard time figuring out what are you about. And if they have a hard time, you're not going to have a good authority score. Okay. They're not going to be able to understand, what do you specialize in, because they want you to specialize. They want you to niche down. So you don't want to go too broad. So I'm going to take this prompt, I'm going to paste it here. So authority velocity framework, you can just take off that part. We only need this part right here. And then here we go. My chosen niche, biohacking. And so we have 3 of the content pillars / silos from our previous prompt. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say wearables. I'm going to say testosterone, and I could do sleep. Yeah, I could do sleep. There we go. There you go. I'll make it simple. And then we're just going to press enter. See, guys, it's literally copy, paste, and just fill out a few things. Like Google Gemini, do the heavy lifting, do the strategizing. And like I told you, the output, I'm pretty impressed as an expert myself. This is genuinely great advice and great ideas. Okay. So here we go. So what we have here is we have the hub with the keyword number. It's going to be up to 50, which is insane. And we have the keyword. I believe you can export this as well. You have the search intent, commercial versus informational. When you're starting out, so commercial means an affiliate term. And what you see here is obviously something that someone types into Google or YouTube when they're searching in order to research a product or buy something. Best cooling mattress pads. Now, this column, primary platform, this is talking about YouTube and the blog. So you can see SEO blog, YouTube, or both. I typically recommend you do both for everything. I mean, why not double up? Because YouTube videos can show up first page of Google. And from a YouTube video, you can funnel people to your website in the description and in the pinned comment. Explicit internal linking instruction. So summarizes the architectural need for thermal regulation and links directly out to all 9 sleep spokes. So basically this concept here is called hub and spoke, like a wheel. The hub is the center. The spokes are coming out from the hub, right? So the reason why you do this is because this will be the first post, the main post, and all these informational posts will link back to the best cooling mattress pads, if that makes sense, right? Basically, you're feeding into your own website by linking relevant content. That's a huge part of our strategy, and it has to be contextual. It has to be relevant, and it even gives you an optimized working SEO title, and I can tell you this is an awesome title. Best cooling mattress pads, that's the keyword that you're going for. Ultimate 2026 comparison. It's relevant, it's 2026, it's fresh. Those are all useful. So basically this prompt, it has you go through these keywords in order, because when you do this in order, you can link back to things very easily. These are all about sleep. Look at this. This is all about sleep, and that's important because my second prompt is different because it's actually more experimental. So the difference between prompt number 1 and 2 for your 50 keywords is the first one is super contextual so that you can literally go in this order. You could just follow this and it would actually work. The second prompt, and I'm just going to run it just so you can see the difference, but basically another use useful thing when you're starting out is if you're not super clear yet on your pillars, the 3 pillars, right? But I'm gonna choose the pillars here. But if you're not sure what type of content you should make, this helps you to come up with more variety of ideas. Okay, let me actually paste in those pillars that I did and see if it gives us a different output. So I'm just going to copy and paste this: wearables, testosterone, and sleep. Same answer. And then we're going to let this generate. This one's not going to be as like, you go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, because you see this kind of flips up. Now, these first 3 are actually very relevant to each other, so you could go in this order. When I like to make content like this, I actually do the individual reviews first, and then I create the best post, like best smart ring for men. That will be my last step. And I would link all of these back to that and vice versa. I link this post would be linking to each of these individual spokes. That's why we have the hub and spoke. But as you can see here, it just throws in like best continuous glucose monitor. It is a wearable, yes, but it's not related to like Whoop and Oura, which is more for fitness and sleep. But you can actually see how some of these informational posts, they are all related. So honestly, this prompt is also effective because if you just look, it also goes by the silo. And as you can see, it transitions at 17 from wearables to testosterone. And you can see now these are all about testosterone. And so this actually works perfectly fine. It's just up to you. Both of these prompts, the output has been really great because they're going between commercial and informational. And you need both, to be honest, because when you're starting out, it's actually not a great idea to do only commercial content because your domain has not earned authority on Google. You need to get trusted by Google and, to be honest, your audience. How do you display authority without selling something? You teach a concept and you do informational content. Now, this content can work really well both on your website, but probably more so even on YouTube, because YouTube, you get to establish your expertise, again, without selling something necessarily. Now, you could still make this content, like let's say mouth taping benefits for men, and obviously you can still sell an actual mouth tape in that video. And one of my tactics that I use for high conversion is I make tutorials like this video you see here, and it's an opportunity that you can sell affiliate products and services and software. But for me, I always come from a foundation of like, I'm genuinely teaching something that, is a very real skill and it's a very real opportunity. And I use tools that I genuinely use myself every day. So if I recommend something to you, it's what I use every day. Like I would recommend to you an Oura ring because I genuinely track my sleep with Oura every single day. Now let's move on to the step of actual keyword research. Okay, now this already did the keyword research. You could literally take this, but what I'm going to show you is how to get actual data, because Google Gemini and ChatGPT and all these things, they can tell you what they think is a good keyword. But until you actually use a keyword research tool that has data, and this data is actually ironically from Google Keyword Planner, so you know it's accurate. But basically, we're going to use a tool called Keywords Everywhere. All right, so let me walk you through this real quick. This is keywordseverywhere.com. You can just Google it. This is the tool I use for keyword research. Now, this actually used to cost starting $2.25 a month. Now it's $7 per month, which is still a steal in my opinion, because there are SEO tools out there that cost close to $100 a month. They're for professionals, they're for agencies, they're for marketing agencies and companies. And I do use tools like Ahrefs at times and SEMrush. But to be honest, I've been doing the majority of my work with Keywords Everywhere because it's so convenient and so cheap. And I like to recommend it to my clients because they can't necessarily afford $100 a month just for a keyword research tool. So what I recommend is Keywords Everywhere. You get the bronze plan. It's $7 a month. It's billed $84 annually. Okay, so you're gonna have to pay up front, unfortunately, but I'm gonna teach you how to save your credits so this 100,000 credits will last the entire year and you're not gonna burn them all in the first month. Okay, because that can happen and it will happen if you're not careful. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna sign up. I already did that. But now I'm gonna walk you through how to save literally like 90% of your credits. If you follow these 2 steps, you shouldn't run out of credits in your first year. All right, so I'm inside of the Keywords Everywhere settings. So basically you have the plugin, you just press the button and you go into your settings. Now I'm in the supported website settings. What you do, it's simple. Turn off every toggle except for Google search. You can keep YouTube on. That's also still useful because you can see the search volume on YouTube. but turn off literally everything else, or else it's going to show all the time. And every time it shows up, you're burning credits. That's the first thing. The bare minimum is Google search. That's the one place you need to have it on for this to work. And my second tip is when you're not using keywords everywhere, like let's say you're not actually actively doing keyword research, all you do is you click the plugin extension that's in your toolbar, and then you just flip on to off toggle right here. I'm just gonna do it for you right now. Easy. There you go. When it's off, you will never spend any credits. And this is the safest way in addition to turning off all those other websites. All right, so how to use keywords everywhere. Let me give you a quick rundown. Let's start by actually taking one of these keywords to see what is the search volume. Okay, I'm gonna go to Google. I'm literally gonna paste this in. I'm gonna click enter. Now you can see we have added information here from keywords everywhere. We have the volume, which is 6,600 searches per month. We have a CPC. You don't need to pay attention to this, but this is how much advertisers are paying per click to show up on this page. And competition scores related to CPC, so don't worry about that. Just worry about the volume. 6,600 people are searching this to buy a mattress pad because this is an affiliate commercial term. Right now, another cool thing you can do that I love to do, when I pasted this in, you can actually just look at the autocomplete and you can actually see the search volume for the autocomplete. And what's a great opportunity if you're a brand new affiliate and you're a new website, you can do something like best cooling mattress pad for hot flashes. It has 320 a month, which is less traffic, but it's less competition because it is a long tail keyword. A long tail keyword is, as the name suggests, it's more words and it has a tail. The tail is for hot flashes, and it would genuinely shock you. Like, here's another one. Best cooling mattress topper for side sleepers, 140 searches per month. Now, here's two notes. The first note is that these numbers are underreported. If it says 140 per month, I've seen cases where it will say 0 searches per month, and it's actually hundreds. I have clients who they said they had a 0 per month keyword that generates hundreds, if not thousands, of clicks to their actual website. So these are always underreported, but if you see any numbers, it's a positive sign that there's real searches happening for this every single month. And these are all affiliate terms. It means people are looking to buy something. And the second point is when you add more words, like long tail keywords, it lowers your competition because the big websites are not going after every little long tail keyword. They're going after just the basic best cooling mattress pads, which is the most competitive. Now, with keywords everywhere, what you're going to see added, okay, I'm going to walk you through some of this. Other than this bar, you get to see the Moz domain authority. So domain authority is 0 to 100. The closer you get to 100, the much more difficult it gets because it works exponentially on a logarithmic scale. So what that means is like going from 80 to 90 is exponentially harder than going from 20 to 30. And so the other thing is domain authority. Basically, the websites, like the biggest websites like Wirecutter, CNET, New York Times, things like that, they're going to have like a 90 plus domain authority. That means that they have the highest domain authority just on the planet. If you have a 54, that's actually somewhere in the middle. And like I said, it tends to be logarithmic, at least with the domain rating on Ahrefs, which is what I mainly use for these kinds of metrics. And so, a 54 is like pretty good, but not, again, not like Wirecutter, CNET, not like one of those top websites on the planet. And these numbers that are important to look at are the search traffic. So when this says 150 per month, it means that this page or post is generating 150 visits per month. And it also says the website in general is generating 229,000 visits per month. And then it says this is ranking for 76 keywords. The website as a whole is ranking for 32,000 keywords. So these are important things. I do take note of this every time I'm doing my research. But basically, the other cool things about keywords everywhere is on the right-hand side. Now, when you do the right-hand side, what I pay attention to is first, I look at the trends. Is this trending upwards? And it is, because you can see in June 2025, this had 3,100 searches per month. And now May 2026, which is the current month, 6,100 searches per month. So it's growing. That's a good sign. It's a really great sign that you need to be investing into this. Okay, on the right side, we have topical keywords. We have a list of them. This gives you more ideas, basically, like Queen best cooling mattress pads for queen size, basically. Again, it says 0 for a lot of these. It's probably not 0 in the real world. There's probably a reason these are showing up, but again, if it's 0, it could just mean that it's pretty low traffic. That may, really be the truth here. But then you also see some more generic terms like cooling mattress toppers, 40,500. But the thing about this is this isn't best cooling mattress topper, which would actually be the affiliate term for people who are shopping. Now, cooling mattress topper is a very generic term. That's why it has 40,000 searches a month. It could mean that people are looking to buy, or it could just mean people are looking to learn. This applies to every keyword, by the way. You need to actually type in and enter the keyword to see what is showing on the first page of Google. If you just see a bunch of e-commerce stores or all just okay, buy it now, then that is a term that you probably shouldn't be spending time to write an article. But in this case, it's not. The first thing that pops up is not an e-commerce store. It is a website that is basically like what we're trying to build here. It's a niche authority site. So if I go into it, as you can see here, this website is like what we're building, which is a niche authority site. You saw it didn't have the highest domain rating. It's around 54. It's pretty good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, again, like Wirecutter. It's not like 80, 90 plus. So yeah, this is an affiliate blog. As you can see here, it's got a ton of mattress reviews, best mattress, and you can see, you can actually learn a lot from this. You can copy this if this is going to be your niche, and I'll show you how you can copy this. So other than jumping into their site themselves and then just seeing, what are they writing about? What are they linking here in their top menu? Because what they link in the top menu is what is the money maker. Okay, what are the big money makers for them? I'm gonna click back. Let me show you how Keywords Everywhere is awesome. I could hijack all of their keywords. Okay, how would I do that? You can do two things. You can look at their top pages by hovering. See, I'm hovering over here, and you have a button that's view top pages. I can literally just click that, and Keywords Everywhere is going to generate the first 1,000 or the top 1,000 pages for this entire site, and it's going to sort them. So yeah, you can see here, and one tip is you can just look at the slug. This is called a slug, the custom URL. It says best pillows. Okay, that's the #1 page. Best mattresses for back pain. That's literally the keyword, and it tells you where they're making money from mattresses and mattresses for back pain. Hey, best cooling sheets. We saw them rank #1 for that. That's one of their top 3 pages. They're making money from that. Best mattress toppers, best humidifiers, best mattress for heavy people, best sheets, best mattress for side sleepers. So you see how I was telling you about long tail keywords, right? And in effect, you're seeing this website and this business, they're taking advantage of that, and they're doing very well following that exact same strategy that I'm sharing with you. Now, if you want to save the credits, this is really useful info. I like to download this as a CSV and import this into a Google Sheet. And I just compile a Google Sheet where I just have all of these. So, if you want to download it, you just click the CSV button. All right, so check it out. I opened up a Google Sheet. I went to import, you go to file, import, upload, and I'm going to add that CSV I just downloaded. I'm going to just insert new sheet. Okay, this is important, I think, especially if you want to have multiple tabs that have multiple websites. All right, so here is the CSV that I got from Mattress Clarity. Okay, so I just double click this to expand that. And then you have the traffic global. So what this means is what is the amount of traffic that this page is generating. And then you have the total keywords that it's ranking for. So some of these posts are ranking for like over 300 keywords. That tells you that it's a very efficient page that, they're ranking for many keywords with a single page, a single post. And this is part of my strategy as well. So I'm actually going to rename this. This is too long. I just like to call them like the domain top pages. Okay, you can even remove the www just to save more space. Let me show you the second function of Keywords Everywhere. So I got the top pages, but let me also get their keywords for the website. And these are slightly different. So to get that, it's a little bit different. You're going to click this website, the 32,000, the total. You're not going to click this top pages. You just click this number. It's going to generate a different list. It's the top 1,000 keywords. Now, they're kind of similar, kind of different. So basically, instead of looking at the top pages, this tells you the keywords that are driving the most traffic. And they tend to be one and the same, but they're slightly different as well. What you can get from this is you can see where they're getting the most traffic from these keywords and what position they are, but then also what's the global volume, because sometimes these are different. Now, this is a perfect example of what I was talking about, where it says that the global volume for best bed sheets cool is 10, but they're getting an estimated 3,700 traffic. So look, at the end of the day, no tool is perfect. They give you estimates, but these tend to be pretty accurate, but there's going to be little discrepancies here. And honestly, this is just something you learn as you use these. is over time. I use this every day for probably 2 years now. So I'm very familiar with how this thing works and just some of the, little glitches and things like that. But as a whole, the numbers that they have are pretty accurate. They're as accurate as you can get because at the end of the day, no one can access their actual analytics but them. Same with any website. Okay, so these are all estimates, but they're pretty accurate in my experience for the most part. They're accurate enough to do your job and to make money. Let's put it that way. So this is a separate list here, and it's just slightly different. But this helps you to just look at the keywords themselves rather than the pages. Because like I said, the pages can actually rank for hundreds of keywords at a time. Okay, that's very, very interesting. I'm gonna show you how to do that when we make our content. But that is how this can be very efficient, because at the end of the day, to do one post per one keyword, if you can rank for dozens, hundreds of keywords with a single post, that is so much more efficient. So basically, those are the main functions of Keywords Everywhere that I use. I walked you through basically all the, different data. I showed you how to get the top keywords and pages. This is how you hijack your competitor's SEO strategy, basically. Okay, I do this all the time. It's just part of the game. You let them do the heavy lifting of telling you what people are searching for, what's making money for them, and you can literally just copy it or start from the bottom up and just start to compete with them and emulate them. And this is a great example, by the way, of just how niche you can go. This website's all about beddings, like mattress topper, pillows, and you wouldn't think that you could make a super full-time income from that, but this business is obviously crushing it. One other extension that I love using that can be very useful for you is called SimilarWeb. So I'm going to click this button. This is actually my SimilarWeb plugin. You can download this for free and sign up for an account so you get more credits. But basically, I can determine, for the most part, how much money a site's making if I know their traffic. Now, again, this is an estimate as well. Everything here is an estimate. So honestly, if I know SimilarWeb, they kind of boost up the numbers a little bit. So it's probably like 2/3 of these numbers. But even then at 2/3, I could just reverse engineer some of the math from an ad revenue and from an affiliate standpoint. This site is easily making 6 figures, probably more, to be honest, because some of these mattress commissions are crazy, super high, because mattresses are expensive and they're very profitable, by the way. That's a great affiliate opportunity. So yeah, this plugin and extension to Chrome, SimilarWeb, this helps me to get more data on the website. I use Keywords Everywhere. The combination of these helps me to basically determine how a website's doing, how much money they're probably making. It's part of my everyday toolkit. So yeah, there you go. That is Keywords Everywhere. So what you can do is, going back to our specific thing here, and by the way, at the end of this prompt or both of these prompts, you can actually take this table and you can see there's an export to sheets. So you can literally click this button or you can copy it. So let me try to just copy it because I already have a sheet going, and you can see a copy to clipboard. So I'm going to go back to our sheet here. I have a blank tab and I'm just going to paste it, and it has all the data here, and it just pasted pretty easily. Now, one pro tip, like I'm always trying to help you out. What I do is I like to really kind of pretty this up. I've selected the row, the top row, bold, maybe bump it up, and you're going to create a filter. I've created a filter. What you can do with this is you can sort. One way you can do this is primary platform. Let's say right now, I just want to look at YouTube or the blog, and you can just sort and you can just, clean it up like that. I'm going to undo that. And then you can also, let me just double click that so it expands all the way. These are the titles, by the way. And these titles, from what I can see, are pretty solid, honestly, for both your blog posts and potentially your YouTube video. Sometimes YouTube titles can be different. There's a different metagame there. But to be honest, like these titles are pretty solid. Things with numbers, 2026 for freshness, it's great. But yeah, so there you go. I mean, this is already becoming a useful keyword research. We have this plan, and this is the first one. We did 2 prompts, right? And so this is the first one that's like in order specifically. And then the second one is a little bit more variety, but they both can work very well. All right, so now that we have the keywords, it's time to create the content. So what I've created here is a reverse engineering and topical gap framework that's going to utilize what's ranking on page 1, and you're going to draft up a blog post using AI, using Google Gemini and this prompt, and it's going to learn from what's already ranking on page 1 of Google, and it's going to formulate a similar blog post that's supposed to be competitive. Now, I never recommend that you ever just generate a blog post. I don't care how good the prompt is or how good the tool is. There's a lot of like blog posts, AI blog post tools, which, to be honest, under the hood, they're basically just running a prompt similar to this, sometimes even worse, even more generic. So I never really recommend that you ever fully generate something and just publish it on your website. That just doesn't work. At the end of the day, you have to create original content. So what I really try to do is I try to use AI mostly for just making outlines, to be honest. And then I try and fill it in with first handwritten content that's gonna be original. But if you use a mixture of AI, but then you personalize it, you make it very humanized where you share some of your own personal voice, like your brand voice, your background, and like just talk from first person, for example, that makes a huge difference for what's ranking right now in 2026. But anyways, I have this prompt here, and all I'm gonna do is like we've been doing so far. So all you have to do is plug in our data. So we already have this one right here. I'm just gonna copy and paste that in. We don't have any affiliate links yet for this. And then you can paste in the H2s and H3s of the first top ranking article here, describe what they cover. So if I wanted to do this with Mattress Clarity, I can go into here. And one example you could technically do, if you want to be lazy, you can take their table of contents. And this is kind of like a table of contents, almost, not really, but I can just copy this and paste that. Or what you could do is these are what are known as headings. This is basically the table of contents, like I said. So this is an H2 heading, and you want to take the H2s and the H3. So that's an H2. This, so if I open this, this might be an H3. If I inspect this, this is an H3, as you can see there. So you could manually just go through this and just copy and paste all of these technically. Obviously, table of contents would be faster. That's why I'm telling you about this up here. So I might just do this. It's not even formatted correctly, but Google Gemini, maybe they'll be, smart enough to understand. And so I got that. And then you can do this for the other ranking ones, but I'm just going to leave this blank because I just want to see if this will work just for the sake of time, just to see, if it'll work out. Okay, so it's cool because they actually took another competitor that I didn't include into the prompt, which is the Sleep Foundation. Okay, they're talking about material, body type, and operational trade-offs. Where's the content gap? So this is important because sometimes you want to fill up a gap that doesn't exist in the market that, is underserved need. So it gives you some cool ideas there. In any niche, there's probably some underserved gap that could be a new angle, for you to come in. Okay, so basically, this is the blog post, part 2. And so I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this over into WordPress. Again, I don't recommend that you just do that. I'm giving you like full, transparency and warning you. But this is just for the sake of demonstration. You can do anything you want after this, okay? So I go into my website, I go into posts, I'm gonna add a post, and basically I'm just copying and pasting here. Go here, go into Gemini. So I've highlighted the post. I'm just taking it directly from Gemini. I'm not doing any formatting or anything. See if it keeps the formatting inside of WordPress. So I click paste, and it looks like it actually did. So if you check this out, you can see that it actually has the headings. It is H2, and then this should be an H3. That's correct. And you can see it did learn, some of these brands and names from what we inserted or from the prompt. And so basically, I'm just going to do a little bit more formatting. Now, images would really take this to the next level. Images, the best thing that you can do is original images. But if you don't have original images, one thing I like to do is actually royalty-free images. There's so many places like unsplash.com that you can take royalty-free images and you can use them. And as the name implies, like you can use them for free. You don't have to pay as long as you give credit. And then the other place is Canva. So if I go back to Canva, I know this is a logo design, but this could be anything. So I go into something like Elements, and in Elements, not only do you have graphics, but you actually have real photos. So I'm going to type in something like mattress, and instead of these graphics, you go into photos. And some of these photos can really serve, even if they're not the exact product, if it's just related to the topic, like this, like it's the material or it's the mattress topper or whatever. You can take real photos from here, and some of these have the crown. That's again the pro plan that I do have, and I do recommend, by the way. I think it's a good investment because you can use real images, with real people as well. And basically what you can do is you can change the dimensions of this project file, and you can basically get the whole image and then just export it and use it for your blog. Obviously this is like square for the logo that we made, but you can do like widescreen and 16:9, any aspect ratio, whatever. And you can literally export this and then just add it to your website. Just for an example, I'm gonna download this and I'm gonna add it to the website. So very similar. We don't need to do transparent background. It's not a logo, and you don't even need to do PNG. I mean, you could do JPEG. That's probably best. It's smaller file size. And I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure it only downloads this page. me save these settings actually, click download. All right, so I've downloaded that image, and what you could do, you can either set it as the featured image. Featured image is usually quite useful, to be honest. And I like to fill out the alt text for additional SEO. I'll do man sleeping on mattress. Don't try to game this, but if it happens to line up with the keywords, perfect. And you can see, boom, it gets added. I'm going to save this draft real quick, and I'm actually going to add in a little bit more formatting. So the formatting so far is actually pretty good, but I like to add this thing called separator. So I add a block, I just click enter, / start typing in separator. You just need to type in SE. It's going to show up like auto suggest, and then boom, and then maybe some spacing there. And yeah, I like to just do a bunch of these separators just to make it really easy to skim and read and separate content. And you can see right there. And just for curiosity, I'm not trying to copy them or anything, or, but I'm curious how they're doing it. So they do use these widgets. I actually know some plugins where you can create these featured boxes and whatnot, but that's a little bit more advanced. Honestly, that's a topic for another video. I'm going to show you an example of this, but for now, let's just keep things very simple. So this is good for now. Now, some of the things you want to do for a blog is you do want to do a few tips here. So here's the first tip. When you're doing the slug, just do the keyword. So the keyword is best cooling mattress pad. Don't do that whole title because it just looks terrible. And sometimes if you have like the year, you never want to have the year in the slug. The reason why is because it is not evergreen. So if 2026 becomes 2027, which it will, then if you have like 2026, this is going to be permanently like this, and it's going to just look out of place, when it's 2027. But if you keep it like this, it's evergreen. It's never going to age. And here's the cool thing. When it becomes 2027, all you have to do is you go to the title here, and let's say it's best cooling mattress pads in 2026. When it's 2027, all you have to do is go to this title and then just flip that, and then update the post as well. That's what I recommend. And there you go. So dealing with these settings again, do that. Categories. This is important. This is where you actually can organize your website. This is why I was talking about those content pillars. We're gonna call this one sleep for now, but it could be, sleep tech, or it could be sleep hygiene or sleep health, whatever. That's the category name, and then it's a parent category. So we're gonna just add that. Take off and categorize for this. It's sleep. So for tags, you can have multiple. I like to do one category each per post. I don't like to do multiple, but I can do multiple tags. So I can do like sleep. I can do like mattress. Yeah. You don't want to do like too many because you want to still use these tags, and I'm gonna show you how, but I'm just gonna publish this first, okay? Because we're pretty much done with the post for now. And you can see it's published. You can click view post, and there you go. So this is the featured image. Don't love the dimensions, obviously. That was supposed to be for a logo, the square thing, but again, images, it adds to posts, it makes it look better. And as you can see here, the blog's looking pretty clean. Could use more images, but yeah, that is from our Google Gemini, and it's pretty solid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to fix up my menu because I just added that in the category. So to do menus, I'm going to go to the left-hand side. I go to appearance, go to menus, and I already have a menu created. And what you do is you make your first menu. It's going to look like this. Check the box for primary menu and save the menu. It's going to create your first menu. It's going to look it's going to look similar to this. But now I've added category of sleep. I can add that to my menu. Now uncategorized, I don't really want to see this. That's pretty amateur hour. So I'm going to remove that. Sample page, also amateur hour. Don't need that no more. That was in the default. So remove that. And another thing we have is tags, but you're not going to see tags here. So tags is something that you can actually take that URL. But for now, let me just add this. Let me save this. Let me get the tag for mattress. Okay, cool. Perfect. So this is where you can get the URLs. So if you go to mattress, you can see these are all the posts with the tag mattress. So what I could do is take this, go into menu. It's not one of these suggested things. So what you can do instead is you can just do a custom link. Paste it in. I'm going to call it mattress, add to menu, boom. And there you go. Save as always. And now when you look at your website, you look at the top menu, home, about sleep, go back to home, and now you have mattress. And it's linking to this post as one of the thumbnails right there. Beautiful. All right, so we have made a ton of progress here. We have a live custom domain website with branding, logo, color palette. We've got our first blog post here. We've done our keyword research. We have our content strategy. Now, the next things that we need to talk about are going to be affiliate programs and affiliate links. how to make money with your content. Okay, now we're doing everything in the right order because to get into affiliate programs, you need to have a website. All right, that's kind of one of the basic requirements for most affiliate programs and networks. Now, it's not necessarily important to know all the affiliate networks like Awin, ShareSale, CJ, Impact. Okay, those are some of the biggest affiliate networks, Rakuten, but you don't really need to know that. What you need to know is how to get in. Okay, how to get approved by the affiliate networks. Now, the easiest one to get into, ironically, is Amazon Associates. Now, Amazon, I want to show you this one first because it's the most basic, simple example, but I want to give you a pro tip, which is don't apply for Amazon Associates if you don't have any traffic. If your website just started today and you literally don't have any traffic, then it's pointless because Amazon has a rule. And the last time I checked, it's you need to get 3 sales in the first 180 days. That's 6 months. So if you don't do that, you get kicked out. Now, it is not the end of the world if you get kicked out. There's ways to get back in, but it's just better if you don't get kicked out in the first place. And likewise, if you apply for one of these other affiliate networks, it's better if you don't get rejected because getting rejected or denied in your application is much harder than just getting approved. How do you get approved? First thing, have a custom website and domain or have something like a big social media like YouTube channel. But to be honest, most networks and programs, applications are asking for websites. Social media is a bit of a newer thing for these affiliate applications and it's becoming more acceptable, but you still need to have like a lot of followers. So that's more risky for you. See, the thing is about websites is people can't really know your exact traffic numbers unless you share your Google Analytics with them. So you can actually use that to your advantage by just making a website that has a lot of content. I would say like at least 10 to 20 blog posts to start at the very, very like bare minimum for me. And if your website just looks professional, it's really hard to tell whether your site has 50,000 visits, 5,000 visits per month. Like it's hard to tell, to be honest. Versus a YouTube channel is very public. You see all of the subscriber count and the views per video. That's kind of like, it's super public, right? So that's the tips. Now, let me talk about Amazon because this is the easiest one to get into. So I'm going to just kind of like skip forward. With Amazon, you just look up Amazon Associates and I'm going to show you what it's like to actually add affiliate links. Okay, let's just skip to that part. Now I'm going to show you the different levels to Amazon. I'm going to show you some cool tricks as well. So the first thing I want to tell you is when you join Amazon Associates and you get in and you get approved, most people get approved pretty instantly, regardless of whatever information you put in. Again, as long as you have like a custom website or even some social media. And so with Amazon, what happens is once you get approved, when you go to any product listing page now on Amazon, they actually add this thing called a site stripe to the top. It tells you the category, tells you the commission rate, and tells you, for example, this has creator connections. So what's cool about this is this would technically add additional 10% commission to my commission. So this would be 13% commission on the $39.99 product. So if you want to calculate that, you would earn $5.19 per sale of each one of these mattress toppers. That's pretty good. You're getting $5 commission off a $40 product, which is not that expensive in the grand scheme of things. Like that's pretty low ticket, honestly, compared to items that cost hundreds of dollars. That's pretty cool. That's something that people don't know about Amazon is they have these like boosts and these incentives that are more high ticket. But anyways, all you have to do on any product listing page or just any page on Amazon. So you click get link, you're going to see a link. All you have to do is copy it. Now I'm going to show you the different ways to add this link to your website. Okay, so here we are inside the blog post. I'm going to show you 3 levels going from the most simple, the most basic to like pro level. That's really nifty. So the first level is just a hypertext link to anything. So it could be to this right here, this heading. Okay, I could just go like this. Now, obviously you want to match it to the actual product, but this is just an example. And I'm just gonna put the affiliate link, which you see there. It's a shortened Amazon.to link. When you see this link from like YouTubers or anything or on their website, it's an affiliate link when it's shortened like this. And once you do that, and I like to do 2 things. These are pro tips, by the way. Mark as no follow. You never want to send link juice to an affiliate link, no follow, and then you open a new tab so that they don't leave your website to increase your engagement rate. Because if they click this link and they actually go to Amazon, they just left your website and it's going to shorten your average time on page. So this is the simplest one, is a text link. And I mean, it could be, the name of the product. I mean, it could be something like click here to buy, and then you just click the hyperlink and you just copy and paste and do the same thing that I just did. You can bold it, make it larger font, whatever. Okay, that's the first level. I do this, but it's not my go-to. Now the next thing is a button. So button is a little bit better. I just start typing / buttons. Default button, you can do the text here. So I go into the right-hand side and you can kind of customize the style of it. I like a little bit of a rounded button. So I'm going to alter the border radius. Okay, see, it's changing like the border font size, make it a little larger, maybe not too large. You can do like by here, something simple. Change that. You can change the colors. So maybe the text is white, background. You can change it any color you want. Maybe we'll do something that pops out. Again, we have hex codes and like a color wheel. So here you could, match the hex code from your branding, which I don't have right here on hand. So I'm just going to get it close to that orange color that we have. And then I'm going to do the text to contrast. Okay, so we have this. What we could do is you hyperlink this, and it's literally the same idea as the text. And now here, what I'd like to do is I would like to see if we can center it just like that, make it look a little better. Do that. And you can also change the width. Yeah, so there you go. 25%, a little bit bigger. Maybe the font just a little bit larger. There you go. So a button, okay? And what's cool is once you make one, if let's say you're just doing a review, you can just copy this now that you've already made it, and you could just paste it at the bottom of the page or somewhere else. So that's level 2, is a button instead of a link. Okay, so level 3, what the pros do, I use a plugin called Lasso. Now, Lasso is a paid plugin, okay, but I genuinely use it and it makes me a lot of money, and that's why I pay for it. Now, 2 things. 1, it's paid and it's not that cheap. I believe for the creator plan, the first plan, it's around $15 something per month, which is, I understand it's not cheap. But again, if you're spending the $15 per month and you're making thousands or even hundreds, like it's worth it. But I'm going to show you what it does, and then you can determine if it's worth it for you. But the second thing is you need to get API access. It's called the Amazon Creator API. And this is what allows you to connect it to your account to basically be connected to your Amazon Associates account automatically, so you can pull images and your affiliate links directly linking to these products. Now, let me show you like an actual example. I have the affiliate link that I'm copying and pasting, right? Okay, so I go into my website and I have Lasso. It's already downloaded. I've installed it into my WordPress site. But basically what it does is you can add a link using this button, paste your affiliate link in here. Once you paste in that link, the magic thing that it does is it creates these beautiful product boxes that actually pulls the image and the info, like the pricing, the current pricing, and it updates the pricing once per day to keep it compliant. It also shows you if it's available on Amazon Prime, and you can customize any of this. For example, you can customize the name, you can add a secondary button, you can do anything. I mean, you can change the display theme. I personally like this Wirecutter-esque theme. Okay, that's why it's called Cutter. I think this is a beautiful one. I personally use this one on my sites, and I'm going to remove sponsored because it's not. I'm going to save these changes. And the cool thing about this is you can literally just click copy shortcode and go into the blog. And I'm going to add a block here. And I'm going to call it shortcode, paste in the shortcode that we've generated, click save. Now you're not going to see it here in the Gutenberg editor, but when you click view post, you're just going to scroll down and voila, there you go. This really levels up your website and your content. So this is why this is level 3. Now again, it's not easy to use this if you're just getting started, because to get access to that creators API, by the way, you need to get, I believe, 10 sales within, it's either 90 or 180 days. Okay, so there's 2 requirements. 1, you need the paid plugin Lasso, which is what I'm using. I'm going to have a link to that where you can sign up. I highly recommend it. I mean, it does amazing things and it genuinely makes me a lot of money. But if you're just starting out, I get it. But the second thing is you need to meet the sales requirement, which is not easy. Again, that's why I say don't put pressure on yourself to get those sales if you have 0 traffic. Let's get traffic first. Then you can add affiliate links anytime you want in the future. And it's going to be easy for you to get access to things like this and other things like not get kicked out. Now, speaking of traffic, what I want to show you is how to get your content indexed faster and how to set up the 2 most important tools or plugins that you'll need on your site, which is going to be Google Analytics and Google Search Console, which is not technically a plugin, but it's an important analytics. So here's what we're going to do. we're going to dive back in here. And the first thing is we're going to set up Google Search Console. Okay, so to do that, all you need to do is you need to Google Search Console, but you're also going to need to have access to your domain. So you need to go back into Namecheap. So let's go do those things. All right, so when you Google Search Console, you're going to be greeted with this page, search.google.com, and you just click Start Now. All right, so when you're setting up a brand new website on Google Search Console, you're going to just put your domain here. So I'm just going to go to my website, biocoreprotocol.com, copy that. You're just going to enter that domain. You don't need all of this. You just need, there you go. And it's going to allow you to continue. It's going to verify. It's going to say you're on WordPress or you're on Namecheap. And then all you have to do is you're going to copy this. Okay, now you're going to go into Namecheap. You're inside of your managed domain. You go to your domain, you click manage, and you go to this advanced DNS. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to add a new record. It's going to be a text record, and you're going to paste in that value, and you're just going to type in @ in the host. @ just refers to your root domain. Okay, and you're just gonna click check. Now, it might take anywhere from 5 minutes. It could take even longer, like a few hours for this to fully kick in, this record. But what you can do is click verify, and you can keep trying it. I recommend you just keep this open and you just keep trying it. And we're gonna see if we get lucky right here. I'm just gonna click verify, but it's a little too quick. Yeah, there you go. So it failed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try to verify it again. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave this open again, 5 minutes, check it again, or maybe a couple hours if you don't have time. But this is really important. We need to get this set up. It's step one to getting indexed on Google and seeing our data and everything. All right, so I actually just waited an extra minute, and you can see here ownership verified. And it was verified via domain name provider, which is Namecheap in this case. And then now you're just going to click go to property. All right, so because this is brand new, there's going to be nothing here. It's going to be processing data, but there's no data really. It's a brand new domain. There's no traffic, okay? But what you're going to see over time is this going to show you how many times you're showing up on Google, what position you are, how many clicks you're getting, your click-through rate, everything. All right, so this is going to update over time, but basically some of the steps you can do here, there's 2 steps you can do to get indexed faster. Now, this is not going to be guaranteed to work in the beginning when you have just like your first blog post or your first like 5 blog posts. But over time, this is going to become more effective and it's going to index your stuff faster. That means it's going to show up on Google, because when you just publish a blog post, it doesn't just show up on Google rankings automatically. It definitely doesn't, especially if you have a new domain. So what you're going to do instead is you're going to nudge Google to say, hey, go crawl my website and add this and get it indexed. Okay. And the way you do that is through the sitemap and through basically inspecting a URL and requesting it to get indexed. So let me show you an example. So here we are. I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to type in sitemap. This is automatic, by the way, and this is just built in. So I actually have all this, and this is your sitemap index. Now, the sitemap we're interested in is actually the post sitemap. And here you can see our post. You can see the post we did today, this new one, right? We're going to copy this, and you go into Google Search Console, go to sitemaps. And when I enter this, what's going to do is going to read the sitemap. And it says it couldn't fetch. I'm just going to refresh this. It's a typical glitch. And you can see it actually worked. So it's a success. There's 2 pages it discovered. Great. Now, what you can do is that's the first step. Okay. So copy this URL to your new blog. Go into Google Search Console. Type it here in the top bar instead. And you're going to click request indexing. Those are the 2 steps to get things indexed faster. And you can see it's actually already discovered, but it's currently not indexed. So that's why you want to nudge it to index. There you go. That's Google Search Console. This is a super important tool. You have to use this every day, or at least every single time that you publish a new post, but you also should use it every day to look at what you're ranking for on Google, if you're ranking and what position you're ranking. That is the point of all this. It's going to be updated later once it's really set up. Now let's set up Google Analytics to see your real-time traffic data, because Google Search Console is your analytics only from Google, only from the search engine. Like how many times you're showing, how many people are clicking through, what's your click-through rate, and what's your average position. Okay, and what are you showing up for in terms of queries that people are typing into Google, like the actual words, not just like the keyword that you put in. So that's the first step. Now, Google Analytics, all you have to do is go into your website. We're going to add a plugin. So you go into your website, you go into plugins, and you're going to add a plugin. Now, the plugin you need to use is called Site Kit. You're going to type in site space kit, and you'll see Site Kit by Google. You'll see it's the real one. If it's over 5 million active installs, just click install now. It's going to install, and then you click activate. So here, all you have to do is click start setup. And with this one, connect Google Analytics as part of your setup, check, and then sign in with Google. And then that's pretty much the only steps. Now, you may see a step like this where you have to verify the site ownership, again, using Namecheap and your domain registrar. We're going to add a very similar thing, but this one also says an HTML code. So this may be a slightly different verification method. So we're just going to click verify. We're going to click allow for the second step. Set up Search Console. We've already done that. Click setup and then understand. Okay, next. All right. So when you get to this part, it's going to need you to create a new account because you probably don't have one yet. And it's going to just fill in the info automatically here. And basically you can just click create account. All right. So now that you're done with the setup for SiteKit, it says it may take up to 72 hours before stats show up for your site. So again, just like Google Search Console, it takes time. So the sooner that you get this set up, the better. But basically you will be able to see most of your data. And this is data from site visitors. Again, that's different from Google Search Console. Google Search Console just tells you how is your site showing up on Google. This actually tells you how people are visiting your site, how many they're visiting, what pages they're visiting, everything. Like this, it just tells you so much more basically, but you need both of them because they work together. And the cool thing is, because we've set up Google Search Console, you can actually connect it to this. It should automatically be connected if it's the same Google account, but either way, you've already connected it or you've already set it up, so it's easy to connect it. All right, so although you can use SiteKit inside of WordPress, what I personally like to do is Google Analytics login and log into your Google account, the same one you use to set it up. And what's cool is you get to have this reports view and all the data that's in more detail. And basically what's really cool is you can actually see active users on your website as we speak. And this user is actually me. I'm visiting the site, but it's just so cool to be able to see that this is connected, it's working, but to see how many people are live on your website. And so what I like to do just to customize this a little bit to make it useful is I don't do active users. I actually do sessions. This is how you actually make money, is on how many sessions you have. And the other things that are relevant to me is to see basically certain metrics. Okay. So the ones I like to see are average session duration. How long are they spending per session? And then I like to also do the bounce rate because it tells me if people are just leaving after visiting one page, and you want a low bounce rate as much as possible. And yeah, it's up to you what you want for the last one. But for me, what I do is I go to, it's actually pages. It's views per session. So this is how many pages are they viewing per session. The number of app screens or web pages your user views. So you want it to be more than one, and you want them to visit at least one other page minimum. That's the goal. And so typically you'll see this be like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. On average, people are viewing 1.4 pages per visit or per session. Okay. So these are the four I use, but obviously as you get more data, like live data, you'll see these numbers fill out. And this is going to tell you the most important things to me that I want to know. So this is how I set it up, but it's just cool to see this is working. Setup was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. And now you have Google Analytics and you have Google Search Console. But as you can see here, it's still going to take some time. I just set this up a few minutes ago. So it's going to take some time. Check back in tomorrow and you should start seeing some stuff, but don't expect to be showing up on Google overnight. This is over time. If you follow your keyword strategy, and you fill out your first 10, 20 blog posts and you submit them all to Google, that you get indexed, you should start to see a little bit of impressions on Google. All right, so we have covered pretty much everything I wanted to go over in this full A through Z tutorial. Now, there's obviously so much more from this point on if you actually want to scale to the 6 and even 7-figure level. And, it's just too much to go over. I've already been talking for hours at this point in time. But if you follow this video and you actually take action, I'm telling you, this is going to put you so much further ahead than people who are just dreaming about building this side hustle or this business. You actually have something live, and this gets you on the right track. And what you need to get into in the next phase is get good at making content. That's what it's all about. It's about consistency. It's about showing up once, twice per week and publishing new content on your blog. The YouTube is another thing that, I wanted to go over a little bit more, but it's more or less similar to what we went over here, just in video format. YouTube is obviously a different game, but it's very similar. And we want to kind of copy and paste what we're doing on the website over to YouTube, go for the same keywords, essentially make the same content and just reuse it. Like that's the main idea there. But obviously, there's so many other videos on how to make a YouTube channel and do YouTube. It's something that we do very heavily. As I've shown you, it's part of the affiliate operating system and some of my clients' success and my own success. But basically, that's a topic probably for another video, maybe another separate course. But again, it's a lot of the same principles, fundamentals, keyword research as you saw today. So it's basically like just copy it, double it. Yeah. So, anyways, if you found this useful, if you could take a moment, hit the like button, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this. Try to get back to as many people as possible. And definitely check out the free email course because it's going to have all the steps that I outlined here. It's going to have all the prompts so you can copy and paste them super easy and have a record of it so you don't lose it. And yeah, I mean, that is the best advice I could give you other than launch something today. You know, if you have to like drink a Red Bull, drink a coffee, and just get this done over a weekend. I mean, realistically, if you follow along with this video, this should not take you more than a few hours, even adding in extra time to pause the video and to troubleshoot some stuff and, you know, maybe some steps kind of sped through. But other than that, I mean, this literally takes you an afternoon and you can have something launched and be on the right track. And especially with these prompts, I genuinely am surprised by some of the output, like how good it is. Like, you know, how high quality and thoughtful it just is and pretty accurate, you know. Again, nothing replaces one-on-one coaching and mentorship from like an actual person who does this and who knows what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, like this will get you 70%, 80% of the way there. And again, that's like so much more than someone who's just watching tutorial after tutorial. My best advice is just launch something today, get something live, submit something to Google Analytics or Google Search Console, get something indexed, get something showing up for a certain keyword where, you know, someone can type it in. And even if you're on page 10, I mean, it's better than nothing. But everything I shared with you is the same foundation for clients who are earning six figures now. Okay. I truly believe what's in this program is enough to get you your first sale. But like I said, you know, we could go all day. There's so much more after this, but the fundamentals, the foundation that we've set up, I think this is the most important part, you know, because once you do this, this is the hardest part. The other techniques and strategies and stuff after this is just incrementally improving upon what we've already done today. Okay. But you can't get started if you don't have, you know, your own platform. If you don't have your own website, if you don't have a YouTube channel, like you're not even started. You know, the real game starts once you've started and you've launched something. Okay. This isn't the end. This is just the very beginning. But I'm hoping to give you the best foundation. So again, if you like content like this, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell because there's a lot more on the way. Tell me what you want to see, things that you want me to go deeper into. I'd love to, you know, see your feedback. But until then, I wish you the best of luck. I genuinely think that this can really just help you launch something, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's something that you want to turn into full time. Anything's possible, you know, and now is such a good time to get into this business. Like you saw earlier, this industry is growing year over year, especially from 2026 to 2027. But you have to throw away the old playbook and you have to, you know, follow this new metagame. Then includes ad revenue, includes video, and it just includes these new techniques where we focus on authority, trust, you know, building those things and doing it the right way. One last thing I forgot to mention, we do have a paid school community where we do monthly live streams. We typically go live twice per month, and it is a Q&A session with me and some of my clients and people who are paid members of the community. It's zero fluff, zero noise. It's just all signal from people who are actually doing this. And you get to ask questions, get feedback. It's really awesome. So make sure you check that out. Links can be in the description. Highly recommend you hang out with us, be surrounded by like-minded people who are all working on the same thing, same goals. It's a great place to be. So check that out. Other than that, I wish you the best of luck. Catch you on the next one.